And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Top 8. Here we go. What a day it's been. We've had drama. We've had knuckleheads. We've had, I don't know, fatigue stuff. What else have we had?
We've had Kassai.
Oh, there's Kassai out here.
We've had Bravo. We've had Dromai. There's Kano out there. And we have got for you all Teklovossen.
That's right. But first, let's take a look at our top 8. Everyone's dying to know. Zane The Rock Johnson, of course, coming in the first seed as Azalea, ace in the hole. What a spread we got here in our top 8.
Yeah, unbelievable diversity of heroes. No duplicates. Some brand new heroes from the heavy hitters set in the KO Armed and Dangerous there at your 5th spot. Moises Lopez. And then, of course, down at the bottom of your screen, Colin Eriksen, Kassai of the Golden Sand, took down Charles Dunn in a game earlier in Swiss and just in an absolute barn burner of a match. I couldn't be more excited with our top 8.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll bring you, of course, one of each round, and these players are playing for the prestigious and very large February AGE Championship medallion.
This is for all the marbles. And
if you like gold, let me tell you.
And we've got this beautiful cold foil extended art Arcane Lantern, courtesy of Josh Myers, our golden rune blade of the West.
Honestly, one of the hardest hitting arts in cold foil in this entire game.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you don't know, this is an open series. They get money and points. So we're playing for points. They're playing to play in the AGE Championship, which if you missed the announcement earlier, we now have a PTI and a golden cold foil to give out to our championship this year. So shout out to LSS for supporting this series of events and all of us out here in Southern California. Thank you to the chat for joining us all day, coming in late. It's going to be, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm just going to assume it's going to be kind of a late night. But we're going to have fun. Sam and I will be here all night treating you all to some commentary on this game. So I think we're ready. So let's
It's Bravo and Azalea. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. It's the Teklovossen. Of course it's the Teklovossen.
We got you. We
Come
got you.
on. We have to show it into this very cool, slightly different take on Kassai, Tunic, and Courage in the list. No grains of blood spill for Colin Eriksen on Kassai of the Golden Sand into this Teklovossen deck. I couldn't be more excited to see exactly how this shakes out. I don't think this is a great matchup for Kassai, but I was chatting a little bit with Connor, and I was like, so how's your game plan into Kassai, Mr. Teklovossen? He said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Who knows? Let's find out together on stream. Young Colin over here, of course, the new prodigy in our local scene, been playing for a couple months, a long couple months, but has put in the work, has learned the game pretty well and is doing great. Top 8 last month. Again, he's top 8 here this month. So, just making his mark very early on in his flesh and blood career. So, Connor, is Connor a San Diego guy?
Connor,
I feel like he might, because I don't recognize him as a local person.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll just say he's from San Diego. Why not? They got a lot of good players. They're hanging out. They come up in force, and they do really well. So here we go. What even does Teklovossen do here?
Teklovossen is a very cool hero with a very cool ability. You get to pay 3, you get to play an Evo from your Banish Zone. The question is really, is Colin going to be able to aggro down Connor here on Teklovossen before he just builds up too much of a fridge, too much equipment suite to make it just like impossible for Colin to get over? I don't know if he's going to really be playing into Raise an Army, playing into the gold tokens, or if he's more likely just going to be playing into trying to kill his opponent with attack reactions and those powerful swords.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot about Colin's deck. I've seen it played at least once today. I'm not sure. People saying it's kind of mid-rangey with a defensive kind of edge to it, but I've seen him blow people out today. So it's got gas in it, and we're really excited to see what he can do here. Definitely, I mean, the hot streak, putting in work as a sword that he plays. You block it with an attack action, it gets go again, which is cool for him and sucks for everyone else. But, Connor's got an interesting deck that kind of counteracts that with a lot of cards that are not attack actions.
Yeah, that is very true. Connor definitely does have a number of attack actions in the deck, but certainly more block cards, more action cards in those Evo pieces. And we're going to see how much go again is Colin able to find in these early turns. Outland Skirmish going to get +3, and any time a weapon hits this turn, going to get that copper.
Yep. So I haven't seen a lot of Teklovossen yet, but it is exciting to see what people are doing with it. I've played against it once, and I got macro-potented, which always sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, wait, what does this do?
I discard when?
Yeah.
You have how many resources?
And you have go again? What
Action
is
points
this?
times 2?
Shout out to Craig Pollock, the Scourge of Pasadena.
Oh, we miss you, my brother.
We do miss you. Hope you're doing well. So, just a little easy peasy Outland skirmish in the hot streak. Why not? We'll just stab you with our sword and see how it goes. One fun thing about, I think this is probably just the way Kassai is, but Nourishing Emptiness coming out as like a really cool card in Kassai because you're just banishing any attack actions you might have and always getting Dominate and 5 Intellect, which is pretty sweet if you ask me.
The Overpower going to be coming across on that hot streak. Going to make the Copper now threatening 2 with the Centauri Saber. This is the game plan for Colin. Got to get damage through early before those Evos are online, because once there is more equipment, it's going to be much more challenging for Kassai to find those sword strikes, draw blood, and finish off this Teklo before he is in that mech suit, before Iron Man has entered the arena.
Oh, apparently Connor's an OC local. All right, so, close enough to LA that we can claim him too.
Oh, incredible.
Valiant Dynamo also getting a lot of value in these Kassai decks. You just always getting a block for 1 is pretty good.
In the game that he took against Alejandro Cuevas, he said, I think at the end of the game it had blocked for like 15 over the course of the game. As Mitch put it earlier, that's 2.5 or two carrion husks.
With no downside. Pretty good. Also, interesting that the gold and copper generation is very strong in this deck. Blood on Her Hand is very much active. Raisin Army is also very active. I think that's more of a longer game where that matters. But definitely seen Colin raise armies of 3 to 5 cell swords, which is pretty scary, especially since they don't have Phantasm.
No, not at all. They just attack.
Yeah, they just attack. They have health. You got to deal with it. And I think Teklo probably can deal with that if he gets set up.
So we are going to give the hot streak go again with that liquid cooled mayhem, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get go again. We're going to activate the Iron Song versus Break the Chain, and then come on in with the Centauri Saber.
And the versus gives it the
Courage on hit.
Courage on hit, yep.
And then the Slice and Dice going to bump up the Centauri Saber there. TCG talk in the chat.
Yeah, very open meta right now. People having a lot of fun playing the new heroes. We had 11 KOs today, 69 players total. Fabulous turnout, 7 rounds in Swiss. But as we said, a unique hero in every slot of our top 8. With some, original 8 heroes in there too. We got Bravo. We got Dorinthia. Is Dorinthia in there? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dorinthia. Leon's on Dorinthia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We will have all top 8 deck lists shortly after the event at age.events. Top 16 deck lists, I'm being told by my producer. And yes, that is the proxy for the Heart of Findall. This is now going to be going ahead. This is a Junkyard Dog. We're going to go ahead and scrap the Evo there. I believe that's the arm piece. So now that can be played from the Banish Zone.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Connor play some of this Teklo. When I played against Evan Bridges at Armory, he got a lot of cards under his Evos. I think he had like 17 cards when he finally turned into the Macropotent, which was...
It's pretty hard to come back from that point. You're discarding every time they attack. Your attack should have go again. So, again, Colin really just going to try to make sure that we don't even get to that point of the game, and we're putting enough pressure on. Before Connor is able to establish those Evo pieces, he is completely... He's naked. He's out there cold and shivering on the battlefield. So all he's doing is blocking with the cards from hand. Looks like we might be... No, it's not activating Kassai. This is just going to be 3 Outland skirmishes in a row, so a nice little 0 for 3, plus that copper generation on hit. You have to imagine Blood in her hands. Powerful card in this matchup when you're trying to just do as much damage as possible.
I always feel like after a deck check, your cards are in a weird order. No matter how much you shuffle,
Yeah.
they feel like they've all clumped up no matter what you can do. Hot Streak coming in for an easy 6 right now. At least I think so. They always like to use the 9 upside
Yeah,
down.
I think that's a 6.
But I just read it from his perspective. Yeah, so, do you take 6? Do you block with an attack action card and give it go again? Will he just give it go again no matter what you do? These are the questions.
These are
you have
fun
to ask
choices
yourself.
that poor Connor has to.
there
Look
you
at
go.
that.
Look at that.
Look at Colin. Not only understands the game of flesh and blood, understands the game of coverage.
Yeah.
What can't this
Understands
kid do?
the game of how dice work. Look, 9s and 6s look the same. All right, so it's hard. Connor's got a foiled out deck here, so it's kind of hard to see what he's got in his hand because they're all a little dark on these
Yeah, I think
Mechanologist
it's
cards.
either Terminator Tank or War Machine. Got a Scrap Trader in hand there. I think has both the Terminator Tank and a War Machine. The War Machine, I think, is being put to the combat chain here to block. Again, that would turn on the go again for the Hot Streak. That is an attack action card. War Machine, of course, and Annihilator and Annihilator Engine and Terminator Tank. All these cards that when your Evos are popped up, they get +3, overpower, cost 3 less, and then either discard a card or destroy the arsenal on hit. We're going to go ahead and Blade Flurry this, and it's got the go again, thanks to being blocked with attack action. So 2 damage coming across, making another copper. Everything's coming up Colin to start this game.
Blade Flurry is a crazy powerful card that I dislike greatly.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you think it's 0 for 4, but it feels like it's much more than that.
Centauri Saber, 4 damage coming across Connor all the way down to 25 here. Hasn't been able to establish a single Evo piece. Let's see if he's going to be able to do any of that here.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, he's only got 1 in Banish. I mean, I feel like Teklo wants to block a lot, hoping to set up, but I think he is going to go ahead and activate his Evo, playing it not as an instant, just playing it raw out of Banish because it doesn't have the resources for that. But starting it up, we'll see how it goes. I love these Steel Memory or Steel Soul pieces because they don't activate the first time you do it, but every time you do it again, you get all those cool bonuses that they give you, which is really fun for, you when you're playing Teklo and not his opponent.
Hot Streak here, coming in for 2. Not sure there are, Junkyard Dog in the hand there. Maybe another, I think that's just a Fabricate, and then the block card. So has a way to not give this go again. Of course, that's only what's represented on the board right now. Colin might very well have one of those attack reactions, and there it is. A Blade Runner going to go ahead, give go again, and a run through. So we're giving double go again just because we want to really pump up that Centauri Saber as much as possible. I don't need the 1 go again. I need the 2.
Keep this one for myself.
Let's see any reactions here from Connor now that it's got the go again. Most likely not. Do have a hold the line there, but unless Colin draws multiple cards on the turn, not going to matter. This one is going to block the 2, defense reaction. And now the Centauri Saber gets the +2/+2, the 2 from its own power. Coming in for 6. If you block with an attack action, gets bumped up to 7. No on hits here, no Kassai activation, no Spoils of War, no Outland Skirmish. So this is just 6 raw damage. And it's time to finally cash in some block on that controller, or not on that controller, but on Evo in general. But the Junkyard Dog is going to push it up to 7. So 1 damage coming across. Connor still trickling away that life total.
Yeah, pushing through not even chip damage. He's doing real damage. He plays at a peppy pace as well. Is very assured in all his plays.
Yeah. That's going to be just pitching away the block card that the name escapes me. It's like Steel Street Enforcement or something like that.
Yeah, that's right, because he talks about being a citizen.
Yeah. I think that is a Fabricate headed to the arsenal. Fabricate's such a powerful card once you get some Evos online. It allows you to kind of cheat your temper. You can give them all +1. You can banish an Evo from your hand, draw a card, set yourself up with an Evo in the banish zone, and then the +1 to all your Evos on the turn can just be insanely powerful if you have a full suite of Evos. Connor here just trying desperately to find a time to go ahead and make sure that he can get some Evos on the board because he's just been staring down sword swing after sword swing. Valiant Dynamo, as we've seen all day on the hands of this Colin Eriksen fella, gets a lot of block over the course of a game.
The young Colin.
Are you rooting for him because his name is also Colin, or are you like there cannot be another?
There
Colin
can
that's
be
it?
only one.
Okay,
It's
so
the
you're
Highlander rules.
So you're wishing for his demise. Is what I'm
Actually,
hearing?
no. If I do that, he'll destroy me, and then I'll be gone. That's probably why he's so powerful, because he's destroyed so many Collins already.
Oh, no.
Activating Kassai, because you can turn it on. Swords get cool little hit effect of just producing money,
Yeah.
and then he plays blood on your
Ooh.
hands. Oh
On your
god.
hands. So looks like he's gonna go give that sword +1, go again, and let it attack twice, blowing up some copper in the process.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's funny that I feel like people were kind of concerned about copper not meaning anything to Kasai when they first kind of spoiled her, but seems like, I mean, Warrior always kind of just made copper and it didn't really seem to make any sense why. So now we know why, because Kasai was coming along and she likes money.
Yeah, these cell swords out here, they need to be paid for their work. Ooh, see a nice little that all you got in the
It's a
deck.
gig economy, you know. You
It is a gig. At this point, hey, listen, in today's day and age,
you
work where you
gotta
can.
get paid.
That all you got here, going to go ahead and defend react upon the Centauri Saber. That's going to be met by your favorite card. Blade Flurry, giving it +2 and your next attack, sword attack +2, a little 0 for 4 attack reaction spread over 2 chain links. But 4 damage is still 4 damage. 0 resources, still 0 resources. Pretty good in these warrior decks.
Gets that gold. He loves gold.
Yeah, gold. So good in these Kassai lists. Not only can you draw a card and turn your swords on for free, but then cards like Raise an Army, cards like Cash In. I don't think he's oh, yeah, no, he is
Yeah,
playing
he's
some
got cash in. He cashes in pretty
Yeah,
well.
probably
this
for
deck.
these aggro matchups where you need to draw a couple cards off of the gold and just keep your foot on the gas. Go again, +2 off the Blade Flurry. You're going to give a Scrap Trader and another that all you got here.
Nice. Yeah, I mean her hero ability is just so valuable that gold, even if you just pay for it to draw a card, just dividends on your investment there. Free sword attacks, you get another card in hand, and you have one floating usually. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Colin here making good use out of a big old red-filled hand, utilizing the Tunic and 2 red cards and that blood in her hands to still have quite an effective turn with these sabers. Activated the Kassai, so it does have, I believe, 2 gold now. If we draw cash in, I'd probably not play in the Raise in Armies. Gorganian Tome. Ooh,
No,
Warmonger's Diplomacy
yeah.
here is big.
That's
this
pretty
is a
good.
big turn to be playing a Warmongers. Look at all those cards in hand. Attack reactions, though, not going to be affected by the Warmongers.
That's true. That is true, but he can't play that Gorganian tone.
I know.
So,
Who's really winning?
What's he gonna do if he can't just draw a card for free and get free sword swings?
The answer: play out a hot streak.
Yeah, and then a glint, and then another sword.
Ooh, a couple D reacts here
He chose
for
War.
Connor. Gonna give it the Blade Runner. Gonna give it the Go Again. Now that the Go Again has been represented, let's see if Connor wants to throw down either of those 2 D reacts. The answer is yes. It's going to be sink below. We're going to sink away. I believe that's a liquid cooled mayhem.
Did he grab another one? Does he have an Evo in his hand too?
An Evo? No, I
No,
don't believe so.
I mean, it is interesting with Teklovossen. They do seem to trade life up front to build their machine and then transform. So it's hard to evaluate exactly where the game state is at. But it's sitting at 20. Colin's at 34. But if he can change, I mean, it's that one Eva though. That's making this real scary.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen a lot.
He hasn't seen a lot. Hasn't been able to block with many to put them in the graveyard. Hasn't been able to scrap them away, and it's just been facing down attack after attack. The question is, will Colin stumble at all out of the gate with a couple cards like those Sink Pillows in the hand? That's not going to do a lot for offense. This might be the turn that Connor needed to get a little, separation and be able to establish some Evos. The question is, what is Colin going to be able to string together now that his swords are free?
They have 2 defense reactions in hand?
Yeah, I think he's got 2 Sink Pillows.
Ooh. Well, might not be the most impactful turn. I think Connor finally drew another Evo, from what I could tell. So it could be a good little, some room to breathe for Connor if Colin can't push too much pressure on him. But I don't know. Colin doesn't even have to put that much pressure right now because how behind Connor is in developing his Evos and stuff. But, you know, helps to have good cards in Arsenal. It's a commanding performance, right?
Yeah, commanding performance giving +3 if an attack action blocks. We're going to go ahead and destroy the arsenal. Here's a hot streak.
All right, I changed my mind. I hate this card.
You hate this card? This is such a cool card.
You just block, and it's a command and conquer that triggers on block.
I know, so it makes it hard to block. Makes it you don't want to block. Lets you
That's
chip damage
crazy.
through.
Is it chip damage if it's more than 4?
Well, hot streak's coming in for a big old 5 here. That's a quarter of Mr. Davenport's life. He wants to utilize his cards on this turn. No go again is currently represented. 2 cards in the hand. No counter on Tunic, I don't believe. So how does Connor want to try to stop this here? He wants to block without an attack action so that the hot streak doesn't have go again. It looks like we're going to put 2 block from the Steel Soul controller and move to reactions. Does Colin have any reactions?
I've got a reaction.
Okay, what's your reaction, brother?
Don't do it! Think of his family.
And yes, the
Oh,
Fate
there we
Machine's going to
go.
go ahead and cover it up. We'll opt a card. Going to leave it on top.
There he goes, yep. Presenting like he had a bigger turn than he did. Connor coming through that turn pretty well. Can he get this Evo off? Will he play it as an instant? That's always fun. No, I think he just plays it. He doesn't need to draw a card. So, all right, here we go. We got 2 out of 4 slots covered up with Evos. He's got another 3 block on the field, or I guess, 5 or 6, depending on how you like to calculate things. So Connor eking up on the race here to transform his body into Iron Man.
Yeah, that's going to do a lot for Connor here. That's 3 block, then 2 block, then 1. So it's a full 6 life that Connor has effectively gained. This is now a Spoils of War and a Slice and Dice, so +3 on this Centauri Saber. Go again from the Spoils of War, and every hit makes 2 copper. It's time for a Fabricate from the hand. Believe we know that there's one in Arsenal as well, so we're going to banish a card, probably draw a card, and give both of our Evos +1 on this turn. That's going to go be the Evo Steel Soul Heart or Chest or whatever the chest is called. Core, something like that.
That sounds right.
The Heart Chest Core.
The Heart Chest Core.
You think that's it?
That's the one. Why not?
So all these Evos are now blocking for 1 more. The controller and the soul, the memory. Steel Soul memory. We've got a D-React as well. This is a big old Centauri Saber for 6 with go again.
The chest is the soul processor, which is what
The heart
nerds
chest
call
core.
the heart.
Chest core heart. Yep.
All right, Slice and Dice, Spoils of War, easy peasy. What do we got on this? This is 5, 7, Slice and Dice 3, 2. I forget how much Slice and Dice does. Give me a slice. Oh, it's +1.
Oh, size does. Yeah, sorry. It's 1 and then 3.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, 1 and then 3. I didn't know
It
you
does
were actually
both.
asking. Looks like this is going to be a block for 6. I'm seeing in the chat perhaps went under an Evo rather than give +1. We are going to go ahead and hit and run it. So now because your next sword is going to get go again, but then also +2 thanks to the hit and run because we've already attacked with the sword. So that means this one's coming in for 7. Technically has the go again, and that's not going to matter here. But it is going to threaten 2 copper on hit. We did break the chain thanks to the hit and run. So that's nice if you want to block with your memory again. Block with your brain.
Yep, Connor's Evo game getting a little bit brighter over here. He's got the chest in Banish. He's got another one in Graveyard that he could scrap later. Representing possibly, 12 more health if he can get both of them on and all the value out of them.
Yeah. Connor stabilized a little bit. This is now going to be Colin's first turn where he doesn't have an arsenal in a little bit. Just going to be coming at him with 4 cards.
Yeah, and we've been at these life totals for several rounds. So Colin just, presenting a pretty steady onslaught that Connor is withstanding, which is, kudos, because it's a lot of damage he's threatening turn after turn.
Gonna banish 4 to Kassai here. 2 reds, 2 yellows. Time to make a gold on hit. Kassai, she is a sellsword. She is here to get paid, damn it.
And she deserves it. You know, she works hard for her money.
So hard for her money. You like that one? Our producer liked that one. She's over there giggling. She liked that one. This is coming in 4-2. It's a hot streak. Kassai online. Steel Soul controller being committed to the block. Any reactions? Going to be a Blade Runner.
Here comes go again.
Here comes go again.
No one saw that coming.
Hot streak now coming in 4-5. A little 2-card 7. If you block with an attack action, it'll become a 2-card 8. Kassai online threatening not only 5 damage, but another gold token. Haven't seen any cash-ins yet. And if we do, Colin's going to certainly be putting his foot even more on the gas this game. 2 cards in hand.
It's wild how long it's taken for the whole currency thing to develop into something really interesting.
Yeah, it started with copper so long ago.
Yeah, and they really didn't do much. And they had cash in at the same time, and it was like, okay, I guess this is kind of good, but when are we going to get gold? And then we finally got silver, and silver is really cool in Assassin, but then now we got gold too, and everyone's just blinging out their lives and feeling good about it. So, you know, that's a lot of damage coming through again.
That's 3 damage coming across thanks to the +1 from the attack action and the 3 from the in the swing. I wouldn't be mistaken if we're seeing in the swing in more Kassai lists after this day. Colin really showing the power of that card. You're throwing 2 sword attacks so often in this deck, depending on if you build it to, you know, do what it's supposed to do, and that's just 0 for 3.
Yeah.
That's Iron Song response numbers, and the only condition is to do what your deck already wants to be doing, and on a turn that you've already threatened Kassai, it seems like that's kind of the equation. Do you have in the swing? Do you have go again in the Blade Runner? Maybe time to activate Kassai.
Got another Warmongers. Not sure how impactful this card is on Colin's turn. He's just gonna, maybe it is this time. He's got his Nourishing Emptiness. It will be, I'm going to guess it's with Dominate, because then you would hopefully banish any other cards out of your graveyard.
Yeah.
Let's do a double check. Yep, it looks like we are clear. Dominate, he's going to get, well, no, we've got some. No, I don't think he has enough block on his equipment, unless he can Evo out something.
Currently representing 3 block on the equipment, 2 on the headpiece and 1 on the arm, but it looks like he might be activating Teklovossen here to go ahead and play another Evo and then draw a card as well. Super powerful effect.
Yeah, so if he does this, he might have enough to get around this Dominate, which would be pretty huge, because the 5 intellect that Kassai seems to regularly get from playing Nourishing Emptiness is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
We just getting an update from our other top 8 that Dromai has defeated
Kano.
Oh, Kano. Well, yeah, we all saw that coming. And then Dorinthia beat the lone KO. So, you know, our first heavy hitter has been hit heavily and is out.
Woo!
Definitely not late.
Loud applause in the coverage booth there.
Everybody loved that one.
Connor there activating Teklovossen to good effect that turn, able to draw a card. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and pass to end. Not always what you want to see, but with just a CNC left in the hand there. Let's see now. Colin might be activating Kassai again. Going to go ahead and check the yard.
He's looking for his milkshake.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or the boys. I forget what happens in the yard.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who comes and who's been brought.
The sellswords come out, then you know you got to protect your milkshakes.
So you're saying that your gold brings all the sellswords to the yard?
Exactly.
Damn right.
We should make an altar gold that's a milkshake. Hit and run. You know it. You love it. It gives go again. And it seems more and more it's also being played after the first sword swing, which is just
well. And look at this on this turn. He actually is playing the Raisin Army here. He's gonna go ahead and make 3 sellswords. His sword swing has go again from the hit and run. This is now all of a sudden a very different game. Colin, look at this. We've got a Centauri Saber. This is 2 with go again, and then if that's a blue in hand, that's 9 more damage thanks to the sellswords.
Jeez.
I mean, we already have 2 resources floating and the tunic counter online actually. So there's 9 damage on this turn, no matter what. Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. It's 9-11. He's doing all the things. his milkshakes has brought the boys to the yard, and a Connor is going to have to work hard to maintain his life, but he's done well. Teklovossen likes to block. They're not mad about it, but they're going to sit out there, and unless he can do something about them, it's going to get a little scary, especially if he can make any more gold and bring any more of his friends to the party.
Yeah, this is 3 more damage. We're going to go ahead and put the processor in front of this. But this is, I think, a really good, you know, example of what happens if this Kassai list is able to just kind of go unimpeded, undisrupted, and really just advance the game plan into a deck. The thing about Teklovossen is you do have to find your windows, find your times to do your evos. And Connor, he's found some evos, but he's just been forced to block hand after hand after hand. And on those first turns when you don't have the armor, that's how you often can stop the on-hit effects from Kassai utilizing their attack reactions. You have to use your armor, and if you don't have armor already, it's going to be a tough go for the Teklovossen deck here. This is going to be a CNC just straight at Kassai after the Teklo leveler takes out one of the cell swords. So you can just imagine Teklovossen, he's suited up almost all the way, just takes out the gun. He just started blasting,
Like,
just takes out one of the cell swords, and then it's going to be a command and conquer threatening the arsenal following. So Teklovossen's not out of it yet, folks.
You brought your friends. Say hello to my little friend, the Teklo leveler.
References on references from Honigman here. We've got 2 equipment.
I've seen movies.
And a slice and dice. Going to go ahead and be committed to the block. The question is Colin able to find more go again? It seems like that's what the deck's built around. Tunic counters going to go for 1.
Will he go again? Probably. But the cell swords, do they just have go again on them? Or do you have to
go again once, so they can only attack once you've attacked with a weapon.
A weapon, okay.
Then they just have go again.
Yeah.
So that's your main clause. You got to find the go again.
All right, activating Kassai, hoping to, refill her bankroll a little bit. She spent her whole wad on her 3 friends. Commanding performance coming in.
This is going to be a hot streak. You really don't want to block with an attack action. If you do, you lose your arsenal. Of course, I believe it's still that Fabricate, so we can just play it at instant speed, but it looks like not doing that anyway, just going to block with the legs there. The Steel Soul Tower going in front of that hot streak. This is going to be hot streak for a total of 5, 2 from the hot streak, and then 3 from the commanding performance. Card in hand, card in arsenal for Colin Eriksen. Kassai of the Golden Sand doing well. We saw KO take down the battle-hardened in Hartford here at the AGE Open. 70 players. It's going to be a Blade Flurry just to get that 2 points of damage across. I don't believe we have go again represented yet. It's going to then be a Fate Foreseen and Respond. Classic Flesh and Blood here, Colin. We got attack reaction and a defense reaction. I don't know if cell swords are that classic, however.
No, just
Sorry, cell swords.
Just bringing other people to fight with you, that's a new thing. I get, I've been talking about this all day. It's like illusionists, but it's weird because they're just straight up other people that you're bringing and putting on the board. And it seems powerful. But with the condition that you have to attack with your sword, you can get jammed up if your draws are bad or you have to block awkwardly. So I'd still be scared of them anytime I saw them, though. Of course, and then you play Spoils of War, you get your go again. You're threatening this attack plus 3 and 3 from your cell sword friends. And then whatever you got in hand, maybe it's nothing.
Maybe. Yellow pitch, so not representing a way to necessarily swing in with the 2 little homies.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline?
Hell yeah, let's go!
Heavy artillery in the pitch there. We're going to activate the Teklovossen now that we've got that card in the Banish Zone. Going to be able to draw a card and deploy it, get another just basically 6 life on the tower. Connor maybe looking like he's getting closer to stabilizing somewhat, though these cell swords are sure to put in work. Going to have to pitch 2 more cards to do so, but there again, that 6 life, 3, 2, and 1 off the tower. Draw a card off the Teklovossen ability. Do still have that Fabricate in the arsenal. That represents another basically 0 for 4 in terms of block now that you've established all your evos. And of course, all those Terminator tanks, those war machines, those Annihilator engines, and the Mecropotent himself are all looking certainly more active from here. And there's going to be the Fabricate coming from the arsenal.
The Mecropotent is en route.
Now that all of those cards block for 1 more, we can put them all, those 3 at least, in front of the Centauri Saber here. Don't know exactly how many he blocked with.
He blocked with 2 of them. Now he's tipping this 3rd one on the Cell Sword. Taking 1. Cell Sword number 2 coming in, blocking.
Gonna take the boots.
And then just a hot streak. Wow. Kassai's got damage.
Kassai's got damage. Connor, though, stabilized a little bit in terms of life. Still got 2 cards in hand. Colin's still sitting on just the 1 arsenal. Spoils of War and a Blood in her hands going to the bottom along with that hit and run. Connor's sitting at 13. I don't think we can con him out just yet.
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure the number of cards that the Necropotent is like feeling really comfortable at, or like what the minimum number of cards are really looking for. I know the minimum is like you have to have all your evos, but you know, is that what you really want to be doing, or do you probably need a bit more than that? So the Fabricate helps. The other cards you have under there also help, but he did have to pitch away another evo, unfortunately. But he does got 2 cards, so we'll see what he does. Hopefully he can take care of one of these other boys out here in the yard.
Ooh, and that's a Singularity in the hand. So that's going to the arsenal.
He's got the Singularity?
Yeah,
all right, let's go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, the blaster here going to go ahead and take down a Cell Sword, which means that Singularity is parked in the arsenal. He's got 2 cards, or 4 cards left. If he's able to keep 2 blues and become the Necropotent, he's at 8 life.
Here comes CNC. It is a CNC.
Oh, there is a CNC. We can go weapon
make
into
this stuff
CNC, and it looks like Connor is does at least have 1 defense reaction in the hand. Is Colin going to be able to buy that out, or is it going to be left in hand so that Connor is not able to do anything with it?
Ooh.
When the CNC comes, run through, going to give the next sword attack +2. Going to go ahead and put that on the chain. Now it's time for 3 more from the Cell Sword.
Right, come on, defense reacted. Don't hold it. Don't hold it, no. What does Singularity cost? Is it free?
Cost 6. No, cost 6.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and look, we have the tunic counter up online, so it's 2. What am I talking about? It has a blue. So this is going to be 2 damage coming across. And the Sink Below is used here.
All right. So that stuffs him. He doesn't get to play the CNC. Man, if he only knew what was in his arsenal, he probably would have played the CNC.
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, because if those are 2 blues in hand, are we going to see the Necropotent?
Summon the Necropotent.
Are we going to see him summoned here?
Windmill slam this card down. Let's go. 2 cards in the pitch zone. Boom!
It's happening!
I am Iron Man.
Singularity. The dark forces of magic, shadow, and technology come together, and Teklovossen ascends into something far greater. 2 action points, 6 resources, and discard upon attack from this point forward. Mechanologist cards having go again, of course, but on this turn, he'll have a number of cards in hand. I believe he'll have an intellect of 5 because of the ability from the, I believe, the soul memory there. But then
all of his abilities are about to pop.
Yeah. But then from this point forward, he will only have 3 intellect to try to take down Mr. Eriksen. The question is, will that 1 Centauri Cell Sword be enough to do it? It's happened, folks. It's time to see the Necropotent in action.
Yeah, so let's see. We get 6 power card from your graveyard into your deck, 5th from the top. What's so funny? +1 on intellect. You get 1 action point from the feat, and he's going to gain 3 resources.
So 2 action points and 6 resources, because when you become the Necropotent, they all trigger twice. Just for
that's right. They all
turn.
trigger. Oh my.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to just attack 2 times. Colin's going to have to discard 2 cards, and of course the Necropotent also blocks for a buttload.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Did he discard twice or just once?
Well, he's gonna. This is the
he
first
attacks
attack.
again. Yeah. Oof. Now we're gaming.
Dude, are you kidding me? We've gotten to see Raisin Army get off. We've gotten to see the Necropotent come out to play. This is incredible. If that CNC had come out, those 2 cards would have had to go to block, and then Colin would have had a whole new 4-card hand to come back at Connor with. But because he played a little more not defensively, a little more, not proactively.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, yeah, he definitely could have blocked it, but Connor's down at 8, and if Colin has another turn of putting pressure on his hand, he gets to a point where he might not be able to keep 2 cards to transform into the
100%. Connor is so stoked.
If only he knew what was in his hand.
Yeah.
Although, literally multiple times, Colin has looked at me and been like, "You have this in your hand." I'm just like, dude, shut up. It is what's in my hand, but don't tell me that.
Hot streak here right now, not representing again card in arsenal that has been sitting there. Oh no, that's the CNC. So card in arsenal, card in hand, one CNC, and that arsenal card. Right, sorry, not the, and the card in hand. Question is, Connor doesn't really have to block this with an attack action.
You ever just pick up someone's graveyard because they picked up yours?
Yeah,
You're
for
like,
sure.
well, I can look at yours too.
I'll just take a quick peek.
I'm allowed to do
Yeah, I'm
it.
going to take a quick peek too. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, these are all flesh and blood cards. Oh, fascinating.
These are your cards? Oh, your friend's cards. What did I say?
2 damage coming across, 5 cards in hand for Connor. So this is the biggest turn once you become the Necropotent. You get 5 intellect. From this point forward, you'll only have 3.
Does the Necropotent count as an act? No, he's not an attack action.
No blocks into a Blade Runner here. So
Ooh.
Connor's just going to go ahead and take 2, maybe trying to close the game out. Remember, his attack actions have go again thanks to the Necropotent here. So now it's time for 3 more with the Centauri Sellsword. Getting it by the Annihilator Engine block. Tunic into the Centauri Saber. That's going to take the Necropotent. He's going to go in front of that. I don't know why I keep using sound effects in this one, but it's just everything feels so exciting when you have the Necropotent, you have the army out.
He calls for sound effects. We'll get like a Foley guy next time to come in here and bang on some metal or something.
All right, 6-16. But here's a big old war machine. This, I believe, blows up the arsenal on hit, and the Terminator tank destroys, blows up a card from hand. Is either that way or the way backwards. Oh my gosh. Connor Davenport's hitting at 16. Sorry, at 6 to Colin 16. The 7th seed versus the 2nd. Yeah, this one is going to blow up the arsenal on hit. So that is going to threaten that CNC. It also has +3, so 9 damage coming at. Overpower, and only cost a 3 to play. But look at that, 2 attack reactions plus the Nourishing Emptiness here. That's going to be enough to buy the whole 9 points of value off the block. Now it's time to discard a card upon attack thanks to the Necropotent. That last card going to go ahead and be discarded. That's the Raise the Army. We're just going to put the Valiant Dynamo and take 4 points of damage here.
Ooh.
Or how much is he attack for 6? All right, but now only 3 cards for Connor Davenport. Colin can just draw right on back up.
Yeah, he attacks for 6.
My goodness. Ooh. All right, but now this is where it gets a little trickier for Mr. Davenport. He only is able to draw 3 cards thanks to the intellect, but huge for Colin there. This is overpower. You know, it's the poor man's dominate. When you're playing into a warrior, plenty of attack reactions that can go around the claws.
Yeah, it definitely loses its appeal when most of their cards are not actions that they can block with, which is pretty good for Colin. But you know, Connor. God, this is getting confusing. Connor, feeling good. He's got a good amount of cards in there. Showing them off to Colin. Check this out.
So that's 3 more attacks. 6 cards left. That's, clutch from Connor to put that Fabricate under early in the game to represent 1 additional attack for the Necropotent here.
And you can't Fabricate after the fact, right?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Somebody in the chat tell me. Coming in. Oh, yeah. Looked good last time. Is it the same card? No, that's...
Yeah, I think that's a War Machine, yep. So that is going to go ahead and threaten the arsenal here. 9 with overpower. And then from that point forward, Teklovossen says discard a card upon attack.
Ooh, and now he's going to have him discard his Hard to Find El Proxy.
Unless he just moves to end. Yes, he does.
Oh, he does.
Just moves. Arsenal's a card. Might be a red. Might not be able to do it. So does Colin... He might just throw that CNC, get it out of the arsenal. It's been threatened for 2 turns in a row.
Yeah. Luckily, Connor can basically block that with his body.
Yeah, for full-on body block potential here from the Necropotent. Still blocks for 5. Only 2 cards would be left after a block from hand here because while the Necropotent is quite strong, he doesn't have the ability to hold as many cards in hand. You have to understand. But with that Arsenal card potentially being a powerful red with go again, thanks to the effect, we're going to have to see blue card going to the pitch. I think that's a Terminator tank, so that's 9 overpowered. Discard a card on hit.
Well, he's got the defense reaction, so feeling, yeah, good hand right here. He's got 2 defense reactions.
Yeah, ooh, this is huge. One block left on the Iron Song versus. That's going to be a fate for seeing now. If he wants to go ahead and throw that sink below down, he'd be able to sink into that card as well, knowing that if Connor decides to attack with Teklovossen, that's going to make him discard as well, but that's 9 points of damage. These have been 3 huge War Machine, Terminator tank overpowered, and Colin's been able to block out every single one.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough for Connor here. He worked so hard to get here. You know, he built his suit one piece at a time by hand, and now he's trying to show it off to murder his friend here. But
discard a card upon attack, attacking for 6. What is Colin left within the hand there? Looks like it's going to be no blocks heading down to 5.
Now we're talking. I mean, I wonder if at this point he's just thinking, how do I weather this storm?
Oh, looks like this is just going to be Tunic, maybe into the... Oh, we can't do it in the cell store. It's just going to be the Hot Streak coming in for 2.
Yeah, I mean, if he can block another turnout like that, it will be hard for Connor to survive.
Yeah, he's got 3 cards left. Let's see, at least 1 red. Time to throw down another Terminator tank. On hit, discard a card. I see another sink below in the hand, and I think he might have put one in the arsenal as well.
Yeah, I think he did, because I think he saw it on top. These are all just coming out at the right time. I just imagine the Necropotent just like ripping off parts of his body and just hitting you with them as he attacks you, which is why you lose those cards as you attack.
Yeah, it's this funny thing where you get so powerful, especially on that very first turn, but then all of a sudden, with only 3 cards in hand, and once the Necropotent is out of cards in the soul there, it gets harder to actually close the game. But Colin's at 5. You have to feel like this is very, very close from Connor coming from behind, establishing the suit, and taking control of the game and taking the win. It's another sink below from the hand. Going to go ahead, bottom a card and draw. And it is the second sink below from the arsenal. We're going to bottom the card and draw again. That's 9 damage blocked, utilizing both pieces of equipment there for Colin. Every single one of these big overpower attacks has been completely stopped. We're going to discard a card thanks to the Teklovossen attack. This is the second to last time this is going to happen. We're just going to put 2 cards in front of this.
Cool. Wow. I don't know. Let's see. Colin's deck's still good.
Very, very thin. Very thin.
Pretty thin, but he's got like a couple turns.
8 more cards, 8 to 12?
Yeah.
2 or 3 more cards after this? Do we have a Mechanologist attack to give go again, is the question for Connor. I believe a Hold the Line, a CNC. That's either a liquid-cooled mayhem. No, that's a Heavy Artillery.
Yeah.
Which is probably his blue for the turn. Which means he... Oh, no, so he has the Hold the Line as well. So is Heavy Artillery into the Teklovossen enough, or do you hold the Teklovossen back?
Oof. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if he goes in for it now, it feels pretty weak, especially if he's got to play out that blue Mechanologist card, and then he can't attack anymore with the best thing he's got, which is his self. So this is a tricky spot for Connor. But if he gives any breathing room to Colin, he could also just die.
What a game here in our quarterfinals of this February AGE Open. 69 players have all come down to this top 8. Incredibly diverse top 8, incredible games all day on stream. And now we've got Kassai, who has raised an army, versus Teklovossen, the Necropotent. I mean, you couldn't ask for something more exciting. We haven't seen anything like this in like a major top 8. And this comes off the heels of Yuki Lee Bender winning with KO in the Battle Hardened in Hartford. This is just, I mean, Mitch put it nicely a game or two ago. It's a great time to be a fan of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. New set seems to be impactful but not broken, at least for now. We can say that. But it's definitely adding excitement. The new cards and heroes are fun. People are out here having fun all day. But Connor does decide to go for it. And he just does it raw on its own. Whew.
He's going to go ahead and just attack with the Teklovossen there. Immediately Colin blocks with 2 cards, discards a card. He's going to draw back up to 4. Looks like he only got 1 more hand left. We can see a blue. We can see that Heavy Art.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Connor just playing to fatigue.
And it looks as though Connor maybe just passed the turn. And the answer is yes. That means Blood in the Hands is going to be active here.
That's terrible.
It's terrible?
That's terrible.
It's terrible?
That's terrible. He had to pass with 4 cards in it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you're fans of Teklovossen, it's hard not to be fans of the underdog. This is going to be blood in the hands. I don't know how many coppers, maybe only 2. So that's just going to be +1 on the Centauri Saber.
I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying from his perspective, that's terrible.
Yeah. So 3 block on the Mecropotent, right?
Yeah.
3 block left.
Which is not
3
nothing.
cards in hand.
But he is going to activate Kassai to also turn on gold activation. He's got a lot of hit and runs, which is going to suck. Because those are so good the second time you attack with a
All right, buying
sword.
Block Glint the Quicksilver. That means we're going to get to draw a card. That's a hard to find all draw here.
Which is pretty good, but he may not even need to pitch anymore after this.
Yeah, looks like, yeah, now thanks to the blood on her hands, we can attack with it again.
And that come in with the hit and run to the yellow, so I think it has +2 on top of that.
That would make sense.
So 3, so is it coming in for 5 maybe?
For 5 total.
Oof.
That's going to take another block from the controller, and then a hold the line on top of that.
Blocks out the 5 cleanly. Cell Sword coming in for 3 again. Blocks it with the Mecropotent. Hot streak. Colin's on a hot streak.
Yeah, Teklovossen
Will it last?
has blocked now that Centauri Cell Sword. That final Centauri Cell Sword putting in so much work so far. The hot streak going to buy the block from the hold the line.
Does it again.
No cards.
He does it again.
No cards left in hand for Connor. Does he just throw that final Teklovossen attack forward? He needs 3 resources to do it. How many cards are even left in deck for Connor here?
He's got more than Colin, that's for sure. So
Yeah, 'cause
this is on Colin to win this game, or else I think he's going to deck himself.
Yeah, it's going to get very, very close to fatigue here for Mr. Eriksen. Looks like we're just going to go ahead.
It does run Remembrance, but I don't know if it's in
This,
this
yeah.
deck right now. My guess is no, because we haven't seen it, and we're on the last 5 cards.
Looks like we're activating Kassai here. Need to make sure we can find a way to get go again. We need to make sure we can attack with the Centauri Cell Sword if we want to get through the defenses. Mecropotent only blocks for 2 this turn.
I think Kassai has 1 card in deck right now.
Yeah,
4 in
absolutely.
hand. Hit and run again.
Sword attack, gonna get the go again.
Activate Kassai. Because, might as well make some money off of this.
Ooh, there's a Nourishing Emptiness in the hand as well. I wonder if that's going to be something that's going to be close enough to close this game, depending on...
Oh, he does have a Nourishing Emptiness? Oh.
Yeah, he has 1 left, so he's been banishing attacks, you have to imagine.
But he can block with his body.
He can. Body block.
And he can... body blocked up. All right, anyways. And a card from hand. So it's not total endgame there. But, oof.
Something Colin could be trying to set up. It's going to be hard, folks. That's going to be another block from the...
Now the Nourishing Emptiness just got spicy.
Yeah, so here we go. This is 3 damage from the Centauri Cell Sword.
You gotta block it.
Take another block from Connor. We're going to put the hot streak in front of this now. That's going to buy a block as well. Let's see. Colin is just going to go ahead and pass the turn here.
Oof.
Leave Connor with 1 card left in hand.
Wow. 3 cards in hand and he passes. That's rough. I feel like that Nourishing Emptiness would have been pretty good, but I don't know. He's better than I am.
Yeah, Nourishing Emptiness going to the arsenal here. Connor is just going to arsenal as well, basically putting it on Colin. You have to find a way to kill me or this game is just over. You are out of ways to finish the job. Hit and run.
Got one block left on his body. Right? It's Battle Worn, right? He doesn't die.
Yeah, Battle Worn. So 1 block left. 2 damage here, and that's going to take the final block from Teklovossen. Looks like he's going to go ahead and just block 1, take 1, go to 5. Centauri Cell Sword coming in for 3.
And his Heart of Foundel stops working because he's got higher life.
Yeah. Now a hot streak coming in for 2. That's going to take a huge block. It looks like that's just going to end the turn here. Again, 1 card left in hand, which would be huge. If it's a blue, do you attack with the Necropotent, force the discard here? Oh, it's going to be an Annihilator engine out of the arsenal, so here's 9 overpower.
Ooh. He does have 2 reactions, but pretty much...
And from there, what do you do?
Yeah, you keep swinging 1 sword with your Heart of Findle and hope you win. Who decks out in this scenario? Someone with a card that gains them life?
Oh my god, goes to 1 because of the Steel Blade Shunt as the defense reaction. Let's see, I don't think it's going to be enough to fully close this game out. Connor Davenport's probably going to stay alive at like exactly 2 after the Nourishing Emptiness. This is going to be probably it, Colin. I think we're seeing the Necropotent come all the way back and take this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously why Connor made it up here, because he seems to know how to pilot this pretty well. It was tricky, you know. He really had to believe in his deck and wait for his shot and set up everything he needed, and it's paying off for him. It's oof. Colin was at like 34 for the longest time.
Yeah, Liquid Cooled Mayhem gonna go ahead and come in for free, and the final attack of the game is gonna do it. Connor Davenport has come all the way back to win the quarterfinal match of the February AGE Open and has taken down Kassai of the Goldens, and the Necropotent is infinite.
Teklovossen, you know, he's a cool, rich guy. He's probably richer than Victor, if you ask me, you know?
He's definitely richer than
He's one of them tech rich guys.
Victor's just a horse.
Victor is just a horse.
He's rich in hay and gold. That was insane.
That was really good.
See that? Oh my goodness.
I was here the whole time.
He got all the way back from like being completely just ripped to ribbons and assembled the Shadow Demi here to close the game. That was unbelievable. Look at the chat. They're going crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I feel like this is the kind of end game you go back and really study, because there's so many variables that could have gone different ways. Maybe there was a bit of value. You know, maybe if he had played out that CNC turn earlier, or if he'd played out that Nourishing Emptiness a little bit earlier, would that have benefited him or given him the edge enough to really put Connor in the worst position? But when you run out of cards, you got nothing, you know?
I mean, that's how Teklovossen is supposed to play, right? You're supposed to just get absolutely beat to crap for the first, couple turns of an aggro matchup. But then if you can establish those Evo pieces, if you can gain the life from playing them out, and then these incredibly powerful overpower attacks, once you become the Necropotent, and honestly, Connor there was really able to like find the final pieces of damage on those final turns. He was not too greedy, didn't attack with the Teklovossen at the last for the last attack, and stayed alive just barely long enough to close the game out. So congratulations to both our players in the top 8. But Connor Davenport moves on to the semifinals against, I believe, a Dromai. That's not all right.
Well, our top 8 is updated. Let's take a look. Ooh, Charles Dunn defeated undefeated Zane Johnson. That's rough. Zane always just does really well, but has a rough time in top 8 sometimes. But that's not his best matchup, I don't think, against Bravo in general, or a super fatigued Bravo that Mr. Charles Dunn has brought. But we got Leon Castle on Dorinthia, the white mage himself. And so, yeah, we got Dromai and Teklovossen. I love that we have Welcome to Wraith, just classic matchup back here, and then we just got a dragon lady fighting a robot.
Absolutely, and you have to imagine that's a tough matchup for Connor there in the semifinals. But listen, if he could somehow sneak past that Dromai,
I have no idea.
One of Charles' only losses on the day was to Connor Davenport in Swiss.
Was it really?
Yeah, Connor took him down. I mean, Teklovossen it's like he's designed to beat Bravo. That's like what he's there to do. But here's the thing, man. I mean, that's looking like a good bracket for the national champ. He came in, snuck in at the 8th seed with this freaking fatigue list that he is so good at playing. That's looking like a good bracket for our man.
The man knows himself, and he loves his fatigue, and he's out here having a good time. He said, I come here to play Flesh and Blood. Why would I not want to play 55 minutes of every round?
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick break from the two of us. I would love to get a drink of water personally, and then we'll be moving on.
Not allowed. But
All right, I will stand here parched.
all right. All right. Christine says you can do it. Okay. We'll be back in just a minute with our semifinals. Let us know in the chat what you want to see. Well, maybe we'll put it on stream or we'll just pick what we want. Stay tuned. Bah, 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 bah. We are back, everybody. Sorry for the dramatic singing. It's February AGE. I'm Colin. This is Sam.
Hey, how you doing?
Coming in semifinals. What do we got for you?
What do you think we got? We got more Teklo.
We got more Teklovossen. You asked for it. It's Dromai. I heard it's a bad matchup, but we're putting it on anyways. Hopefully.
I don't think either side of the bracket has like incredible matchups, like a super 50-50 even. We've got a really defensive fatigue Bravo into a pretty classic Dory build. I think they might also have a decimator, but that's not.
He does do decimator.
Yeah. So that's something.
It's something.
That's something. But as we saw, Charles is running every single copy staunch response he can. So we'll see how that goes for the Dory player.
13 copies. What the?
But hey, Teklovossen into Dromai. We saw this Teklovossen pull off a miracle in the last game against Colin on Kassai, which means let's take a look at the miracle run, folks. Teklovossen is in the semifinals. Connor Davenport versus Grant Strom, I believe. A newer player, unless I'm getting my players confused.
I think newer player out of San Diego.
Yep.
Coming up here, having a great time, playing Dromai, relatively newer hero herself.
Really?
New to the scene.
Yeah, is that true?
Flashy dragon lady versus, just some dude in a sports coat who might turn into a robot. Let's find out if he does.
Yeah, he certainly did last game to great success.
Ooh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. If you did not watch that, go back and watch that. Or maybe skip the first half and then see what happens, because you can guess what happens in the first half. Teklo blocks a lot.
Listen, they had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
That's true. We're watching Colin, young Colin over there, doing his best to try to end that game as quick as possible. Unfortunately, didn't work out that way. Oh my God, we're being censored. What's going on here? Don't even do it. We're going to watch all your moves. There he is, giving us the thumbs up. Grant Strom, so excited to be here. Shout out to this guy. He's got good vibes. Got Leon Castle in the back over on Dory versus the national champ himself, Charles Dunn, on the right there. Just a heavy-hitting table.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you have a table with a national champion at your AG Open, people are throwing down. People are here to kick butt, take names. And Charles Dunn sneaking in as the 8th seed, but now has a pretty nice looking bracket there. So we're going to see if anyone can take down the champ. Connor Davenport would be certainly licking his chops as a Teklovossen player if he gets to play into a fatigue Bravo. But the question is, can he get through the Draconic Illusionist to get there? Gonna have to take some pretty good early turns from Connor. We can't see him get too far behind, because once those dragons come out, they're gonna be tough to stop.
He does got poppers though, right?
Oh, he do got poppers.
He do got poppers. So that's a thing. Also, just shout out to Leon's beard. Majestic. Love it. Bringing that good beard energy, which I'm just excited about at 9 o'clock on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
1 week before Valentine's Day.
Not even a week.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. If you don't celebrate, that's fine. You don't have to. Just know that you are loved by us here at AGE. Especially if you like and subscribe.
Hey.
This is on YouTube.
This is the semifinals of the February AGE Open Series here in Los Angeles, California. We've got Teklovossen, Esteemed Magnet versus Dromai Ash Artist. Connor Davenport, your 7th seed, versus Grant Strom, your 6th seed. It's about to go down, folks. Let's see if the Teklovossen can continue the improbable and move on to the finals, or if the Draconic Illusionist will stand in his way and go on to meet either Dorinthia or Bravo on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, we should tell them to demand that the guys in the back raise their hands in victory so we know who wins in real time. Someone tell them.
Okay.
Justin, can you hear me?
I'm on it.
You out there? Justin.
And take a look at this. It's the Teklo pistol for Connor Davenport. You know what that means?
Ooh.
He's looking to establish one of the 2 induction chambers that he has in his list because he's trying to clear some dragons. That's going to be the only way he's going to have a real hope in this game, folks. Plus, the Achilles Accelerator, probably another way he's hoping to clear dragons. So what does this tell you? It tells you that Connor has definitely put a good deal of thought into the matchup. He's not considering it just something that like is a foregone conclusion. He knows what he wants to do in order to try to win this game. And look, he finds the Purifier on the first turn of the game.
Of course he does. This is Flesh and Blood.
Okay, but look at that. It's going to be a Tome of
and he's got
Imperial
the
Flame.
turn one. This is just turn 0, turn 1, just dreamland that we're living in over here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have the Achilles Accelerator. He's going to have Arcane Barrier if he needed, but this is going to be a big turn from Grant on this first turn. Going to draw 2 cards, going to pitch 2 to the Tome of Imperial Flame, going to turn on the Flame skill for the rest of the turn. But if Connor is able to keep that Plasma Purifier, that might be, a good start in order to try to stay alive here.
So does that mean he can't transform?
No, he will. No,
he
yes, he cannot become the Mecropot in this game
Yeah,
because
there's no card that lets you just put on a base at some point, right? Yeah, no, I don't think so. So yeah, he might be just looking to fatigue. But I guess he can still equip his armor multiple times and get full value out of doing that. Which when he has the Stevo arm or Stevo, the Evo Steel arm, Steel Soul
Talk
armor.
about an altar.
The Stevo armor. It's just oh god, somebody make that. Mara's in the chat. She does altars. But yeah, so he can get a lot of value out of equipping those multiple times. Basically artificially inflating his life by X. Somebody else answer that question. Fabricate does let him put. It does from his inventory, right?
Oh yes, if you broke your Achilles Accelerator and then fabricated one of your proto base legs, which he does actually have, he has a whole set of proto base in the inventory there. So that would be a way to do it.
Nice. Thank you, chat.
2 pitch floating.
That would be interesting because the burn them all is usually something that comes mid to late game. So at what point do you say, okay, I'm just going to start eating all of the arcane damage that he might present, and I'm going to transform my body into big Necropotent Man?
Well, look at this. So we've broken the gold. So now basically the Tome of Imperial Flame has just allowed us to break our gold, generate 2 ash, and now we're just kind of starting from scratch with a 4-card hand. However, if we just ever want to activate the Flame Scale Furnace, we're going to get a whole lot of pitch.
He has no boost cards in his deck. He can't break Achilles. Is that true? Let's see. Yeah, that might be true. Maybe. Let's find out. Shh, it's a secret.
All right, looks like we are just going to go ahead and activate the flame scale here. Looks like that's what he's potentially representing.
Normal turn, 3 cards in pitch, 3 cards in hand, bunch of ash already. And look at this. Necria comes out to play.
Yeah, so that is going to be an activation of the flame scale furnace into Necria here. Big old way to continue to make lots of ash, as well as just throw a big old beater for 4 on the battlefield.
Yeah, that was. And he's got the Mirage. Wow,
got a
what
Mirage
an
here.
opening turn 0 we have over here. We got a book and 2 dragons.
This is going to be a Necria, no Phantasm, and we know that Connor doesn't have a great hand to block. Got a couple of no blocks, but does have the popper in the CNC. So the question is, if that mirror guy comes in, will it eat a CNC, or will Grant keep it back just because there's, he's too afraid of the potential popper?
Which usually seems like something they do, especially early game. You don't need to be too greedy about it. Your Moraga is there to threaten. He's blocking 3, but no Phantasm.
Yeah, no Phantasm here. And it looks as though, Connor basically, almost representing like he has another popper by blocking with the first. So making sure that Grant doesn't do so. Go ahead and draw up as well. I think that's a Magnetic Protocol that he drew.
Yeah, he does have this induction chamber, which he'll be able to equip and do some damage to these dragons that he's got out here, which is very interesting. Interesting game plan. I'm curious, if this game goes shorter than that other game, maybe we'll talk to and Connor wins. Maybe we'll talk to him about how what his thought process going into this game was, because it seems a little scary. Especially if your main thing with Teklo is I'm gonna transform, but if that's not on the table, what do you what do you do then?
We're going to have to see exactly how Connor wants to try to execute a game plan. Can you go ahead and pitch into the pistol and then pitch 2 into the induction chamber.
Flashing out that remembrance, and I'm here for a long time, not a good time.
And we're going to go ahead and put Scrap Trader and the Remembrance on the bottom arsenal, our final card. And let's see now. Grant's got a 4-card hand, 2 dragons, and one of them stops Phantasm. He's probably going to be able to do quite a bit of damage from here.
But Connor's got poppers. Oh, and here he comes. Yenderai.
So here's the thing for Grant. Not only has he established a bunch of dragons, they're all annoying to deal with. Endurance counters, lots of health, 4 health on the Miragai.
It's looking a little bleak. But, you know, we're just... Oh, wait, here we go. And an Uvia. Oh, boy. That sucks. That's a lot. A dragon that's going to make small dragons has a ton of health. I mean, Connor does have cards with good attack, so, like, you know, he can spend it. Oh, and he's got that Singularity already in hand, and he's going to block with it, which, hey, there we go. All our hopes and dreams right there in the card.
That's going to be that for that.
We're going to fatigue, ladies and gentlemen. Pistol away. He's your favorite regular man in a business suit.
This is such a huge board for the Dromai player here. Only the second turn that he has gotten to play cards. But look, 5 dragons already. Here's a single Ashwing coming through. 1 point damage going to be taken, looks like, from Connor here. This is going to be tough for him to navigate.
Absolutely. But, you know, Dromai is a pretty popular hero out here in the Southern California region and generally, I guess. So I have to imagine Connor has played this before. We didn't get to ask him what his thoughts on it. I should have asked Justin because he plays Dromai and has probably played against Teklo. But looking at this, I feel sad for Connor. But I don't know. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Choking on nothing.
Connor here just going to go ahead and load up the induction chamber. He's got a couple cards left in hand. One of them, I believe, is a popper that if he keeps in the hand is going to be a pretty big signal to Grant that, you know, I do have the popper. Do have to think about that. Going to put 2 damage on the Uvia, so only 4 health remaining. Then give it the go again with the induction chamber. Put 2 more counters and then immediately come at it with that, I believe, Magnetic Protocol to finish the job. So still a fair amount of dragons left and 4 cards for Grant.
Yeah, the problem with those dragons when you take your whole turn to do it is that he's probably just going to plop the same dragon down again. Oh, God. He plays another book. He's going to draw his cards. He's going to pitch 2, make more ash. He's just doing everything he wants to do to take a lot of tempo early in this game. Just making it harder and harder every turn for Connor to clear this. But Connor's got Remembrance. He's looking to play a long game. He's got a lot of blocking ability. So it's...
He has a game plan, right? He's got the chamber. He's got the Achilles. He clearly has, you know, some plans for the matchup.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, yeah, flipping those over.
A Miragai, a Necria, an Azvalai, an Ashwing. It's not
2
looking
Yenderais.
pretty.
Yeah, this is as bad as it gets. He does have some poppers, so he can start, you know, shortening these turns at least, which is good. It does become a question of what order these dragons come in, if it, you know, sequencing it. You know, of course, yeah, you're like, here, you want to take 1 damage or waste your popper on this little baby dragon. I think. Oh yeah, he's going to block the arcane damage and then pop the Azvalai, keeping out the most annoying dragon. So yeah, Grant may be new, but he's playing this like someone very familiar with the things he's got to do in the right order to do them effectively against his opponents. Which is how you win games. I just say those stupid things sometimes. You win games by lowering their health to 0. It's crazy.
2 damage, and then 2 damage from the induction chamber and the pistol. Going to take out the Miragai. So at least right now, if you're fans of Teklovossen, no way to stop Phantasm immediately on the board. Here's a Kyloria.
Oh, no.
Threatens to take that induction chamber immediately. The question is, do we have any Phantasm prevention? Do we have a popper? I'm not sure Connor's able to find one here. He's got to fabricate. Oh, and there's a Dromai.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. It gets worse and worse. It looks like he has several Evos. Do the Evo empowered cards, like the War Machines, those are all 6s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But not, he has like those blue liquid ones that are not.
The blues are 4s, the reds are 6s.
Yeah. So, this is just a scary board.
Yeah. This is not something you really like to look at if you're playing anything. We're going to go ahead and look at that. We're putting an Evo piece on. But unfortunately, I think that means that... Oh, we've got a card in hand that we've now drawn.
Yeah, that's an instant activation of Teklovossen's ability.
That does mean that Kyloria is looking straight at that induction chamber. And that means that's going to be pretty tough for Connor to come back from if that induction chamber is grabbed by the Kyloria.
Did he draw into a popper?
No. Yes, he would be able to place the popper in front of the Kyloria to stop the induction chamber, but then, of course, you're saying pass to you after that, leaving your opponent with Kyloria, Dromai, Necria, 2 Yenderize, and an Ashwing. 3 more damage from a Yenderi here. 3 more damage from a Yenderi here. 28, 4 more damage from the Necria. The question is, do we send the Kyloria and threaten that induction chamber? The answer is yes.
And here comes the popper.
And we found the War Machine. So it is going to go ahead and pop. However, still have an action point thanks to the Dromai.
Oof. Clearly doesn't care about his ghostly hands because...
I don't think you're going to need it in this game.
Not going to need them, but they're there. And he's got a
Cadaverous Contraband off of the Flamescale Furnace. That means we're getting another Tome of Imperial Flame back on the top of the deck. Oh, no, excuse me. Why not? I have a better idea. Just another Kyloria. Invoke Kyloria. Connor going down to 18. I mean, the writing's on the wall, Colin. We can hem and haw all we want, but it doesn't look as though the magic has really come together here for Connor.
Actually, yeah, no, I think this is looking pretty grim. But everybody demanded to watch more Teklovossen. So are you not entertained, everyone out here? I hope so, because this game's going to end, and then it's just going to be us talking. Oh, maybe we'll bring Mr. Grant Strom in here and talk to him about how hard it was to come up with a game plan to defeat Teklovossen.
Okay. You have to be, to be fair to the esteemed Magnet, he wasn't prepared to fight, dragons made of ash that aren't even real. He's trying to quell the, uprising in his city. He's not trying to defeat, these little dragons. So he's not built for this.
Yeah, and then Dromai is like, I'll show you an uprising. I put them down as part of my job.
Yeah, you think you deal with rebels. I'll show you dealing with rebels. Gonna go ahead and pop the Dromai there. Liquid Cooled Mayhem.
Yeah, Cadaverous Contraband, great card. Love seeing it get played in a couple different decks right now. One of those ones where you're just like, this could be good. But then it blocks for 2, and you're like, maybe not. God, if he takes it is terrible and so funny when Kyloria takes mechanologist items.
So bad.
It's just like, oh God, that's rough. This is now mine. I can't use it. Although I guess he can pitch to it. He can generate ash off of it. Oh, that's not funny.
4 damage from a Ravenous... Oh, no, 2 damage from a Ravenous Rabble. Excuse me. I just assumed everything's been going so well for Grant that I just kind of assumed it was going to be a full attack for 4, but that Ashwing's going to go ahead and be stopped by another popper here, so 2 cards left in hand. All right, the board's getting a little more manageable, and now we can just take care of the Kyloria with a single pistol pop. We do have the go again, thanks to the induction chamber.
Nice. 420 viewers. We did it. 69 players.
420 viewers.
What a day for
We can retire.
all of us.
We can retire. We've done it, folks.
We've done it. Now, great turnout. Biggest turnout for us out here at AGE ever, I think, for one of our normal open series. So really excited that a lot of new players, too. Or not new to AGE and also newer players to the game. So it's really great to see growth going on there. People always having fun out here. Good vibes. Good games. We even had some pizza. You know, just classic.
Hey, man, it's been great. We got pizza.
Yeah, got pizza out here. We had some Portos, if you're not familiar. Great bakery out here. No guava and cheese.
Only 2 Yenderais now for... Oh, Grant, he's going to go ahead and just activate the Mage Master boots. Play out a second Passing Mirage at instant speed. So that's a second Passing Mirage. Another way to stop Phantasm, and then there's another Kyloria.
Oh my God.
So we do still have 1 block left on the memory here for Connor. So listen, hey, that board of dragons is looking certainly more manageable, but 2 Yenderais, a Kyloria, and a Passing Mirage certainly still doesn't feel good.
Not at all, because he's got to waste a whole 2 pistol shots to try to get these Yenderais, and even then, I think it takes more than that. So he's got to pistol them and hit them with a card, which doesn't feel good.
Who rake the embers here on a whole another little set of Ashwings. 3 damage. You got Kodachis for the rest of the game until these are taken care of.
Oh boy. Just when we said it was looking up.
Yeah, there's way more dragons on the field now. There's way more dragons on the field. And there's a Passing Mirage. But, again, a single blue takes care of the Kyloria and the Passing Mirage. And the Mage Master boots are gone.
Yeah, he's got to block out this Kyloria fully, though. No poppers this time. Not sure if he has is there any 4 block? No,
There are blocks. So the card that he's feathering right there, if he had more Evos, would block for 4.
Mm.
Right now, I believe it only blocks for 2. So 2 plus 2 will block it out thanks to the hold the line. Would be nice for Connor if the damage prevention was floating, and we are just going to go ahead and pop the Ashwing.
Yeah, doesn't have the life to eat those up to wait for a stronger dragon to pop. So cutting that turn short where he can, loading up his pistol, pew pew. Let's get rid of this Kyloria because it's gonna ruin my only game plan I have right now.
Yeah. So yes, a single blue takes care of the Kyloria, takes care of the Passing Mirage. Let's see what Grant is able to continue to string together from here.
My guess is more dragons.
Oh yeah, no, I think more dragons is a good guess. It's a very good guess. And you wanted a way to stop Phantasm. You've seen Dromai. You've seen Passing Mirage. Why not a Mirage guy for your troubles?
He's got all the tools. No update on the other match. They're sitting there right behind him. They have not raised their hand in victory yet, which I have specifically requested that they don't know that I have, but we'll see if it happens naturally.
So this, unlike Passing Mirage, which would have stopped Phantasm on this Billowing Mirage, Mirage only cares about Dragon attack. So this is now going to be 3 damage from the Yenderai after 3 damage from the Billowing Mirage.
So, update on the Dory match is that he did go with the Decimator Great Axe, as we prophesized earlier tonight, as that seems to be his plan into Guardian generally, which I've heard he's very comfortable with. Josh was telling us earlier that he's got a plan there for that kind of matchup, but Charles is playing a incredibly fatigue forward deck, so
Without a doubt, yeah.
We'll just we'll see how it goes.
Oh my goodness, a Passing Mirage on the back of the Mirage guy. I mean, that is going to require 2 different ways to clear the Phantasm, denier on probably just 2 turns. That means Grant's going to have 2 turns of trying to just work through no Phantasm. That's great. If you're a Dromai fan, if you're a Teklovossen fan, you're rooting for the underdog. That's going to be really tough to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Grant's at 40 health still.
Well, health doesn't matter, right? We're here to again, we're playing for a very long game if we're the Teklovossen player here. You know, health at a certain point, we've just got to be thinking about controlling the board. And we're first going to go ahead and just take care of one Aether Ashwing, load up the pistol again. Still got a card in hand.
Interesting. Looks like he's just going to send out heavy artillery at the Miragai to send him packing. I believe that's the second Miragai. We've seen 2 Kylorias, but it was cadavers contrabanded back. We've seen one, I think only one Chromai. Those 2 Yanderais have just been out there living their best life. Now, still got their endurance counters on them. Feeling good. Passing Mirage. Just going to make this. And as I said, here we go. Another Chromai on the field.
Dromai and Passing Mirage. So powerful. This is a Chromai without Phantasm, which means 2 action points for the rest of the turn. Steel Soul Controller can just go ahead and block 3. 3 damage is a whole 5th of Connor's life at this point in the game.
I'm curious what the sequence of events is that makes this matchup almost winnable for Connor. It's just Dromai has so many dragons that they can play. It just feels like. Ugh. I mean, yeah, it's a game. You gotta be patient into Dromai a lot of times. I don't have that kind of patience. I just get mad. Like, why do you have so many dragons? I want to play the game too.
All right, Liquid Cooled Mayhem is going to go ahead and pop that first Ashwing. Should. Oh, I guess. Didn't have another action point from the Chromai.
Or did he? And did he forget?
Yeah, not sure.
Because he has the dead.
Oh, that's
Close.
great. Yeah, go.
Close game for Dory versus Leon and Charles Dunn, 18 and 19. Who's got 19? Dory has 19 health. Yeah, look at that. Up tremendous.
Up tremendous on the other side of the bracket. Tome of Imperial Flame. Good card.
This is a pretty good card. I think this is his last one.
It is his last one.
So, you know.
E-Strike draw card. I missed what mood that E-Strike was. That used one of the action points on the last card. Thank you, friends.
That makes sense. And he's got Dominia in hand. Bro. Uvia's coming out to play. Bro.
Uvia going to go ahead and make another Ashwing here.
Oh, my God. Bro. He's going to slam this Dominia out, too, I bet. Activate Furnace. Come on.
Let's see. We're going to pitch a Kyloria away. When you're seeing your opponent pitch a Kyloria, that's like, uh-oh. That means you probably have something better to play, and it's just going to be the Dominia here. Yeah, you can see Connor can do nothing but just take a little smile there as he sees this card coming. We're going to reveal off the top. It's going to be a red. That means we're looking at the hand. We're banishing a card. We have 2 total poppers, a defense reaction, and then a blue 5 attack blue. Going to get rid of the Terminator tank, so we'll still have the War Machine. We'll still have the Fate Foreseen. We're going to put the War Machine immediately in front of the Dominia, so we do still have the popper there. Nice. We'll end the turn. Connor's going to be able to put that D-React in the arsenal. Go ahead and load up and take care of most likely both Ashwings or both endurance counters on the Yanderai. I don't know, man.
Yeah. None of his options are good.
No.
But let's find out what he does. He can't do anything about Uvia, probably.
Only one remembrance for Grant. That's something to pay attention to. We've seen 2 Passing Mirages be used.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen 1 get pitched. I think 1 or 2 Miragas, 1 or 2 Chromais have been dealt with. So Connor's, working through the Phantasm.
Yeah, he does have 3 Cadaverous Contraband, though, so he is looking to proactively recycle his cards. But doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to
It doesn't seem like it, but again, there's
You never know. Yeah,
you never
we
know.
can
I
always
can
leave that possibility
see
open.
another Dromai in the hand there. Burn them all. Burn them all could put in some serious work throughout this game as well.
I'm sorry. What was that? No.
Burn them all. Coming out. Going to go ahead and give everything go again. And 1 arcane damage on the first dragon attack with Connor at 14. That's going to start to get very pesky very quickly. Dromai here. Coming in. Dealing 3 and 1 arcane.
Chad hoping that Connor targets Grant at least once, so it's not a flawless victory. Doesn't matter. 39, 40. No, well, we're in here. Connor pulled it out last time, but that was a bit different. These dragons, they're just out here doing work, serving damage.
That's going to buy a Fate Foreseen block out of Connor. So now 2 action points for Mr. Strom.
Two action points. He's got go again on everything. And he finally gets to pop a Yender.
Yeah, that's got to feel good and pretty massive here for Connor. He gets rid of one of the most challenging dragons to deal with otherwise. 1 action point remaining. Do we have a second popper in the hand for Connor here? I'm just going to throw the second Yender Eye. I think we know it's a Fate Foreseen in the arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. Gonna just throw the Fate Foreseen down, meaning most likely don't have the popper. Ship that one to the bottom. Grant Strom sitting at a comfortable 40 at this point. Can you go ahead and pitch one? Make an Ash to the Flame Scale Furnace. Put that Invoke Themai on the bottom of the deck. All right, Connor, what do you got? You got 2 cards in hand.
What's he going to do? Is he going to load his pistol first or his induction chamber?
Pistol.
There we go.
Then the induction chamber. We're going to shoot Dromai. Take care of that one. Give it the go again, most likely. Let's see. Take care of the Ashwing. Take care of the endurance counter. Yeah, we're just going to pick off the Ashwing. So the dragons are starting to get dealt with, but Connor is all the way down to 12 here.
Yeah. I'm curious how many dragons Grant has gone through. It's quite a lot. And another Uvia.
Another Uvia here.
And another one.
Look at this Uvia. Uvia coming out, making another little baby Ashwing. There's 2 of them now.
Look at these guys.
Look at these guys, huh? Oh, and we got an Invoke Asvalai here. What? Our producer is just now discovering the foldable tear-out cards and looking at us with she's got a huge smile on her face as she tears the cards apart.
They are satisfying to break.
They are satisfying to break, but this is also an incredibly intricate game that I'm watching over here. I don't know why you're trying to distract me with those tiny little foldable grabs.
They're so small. They're so small like these little Ashwings.
Little Ashwing coming in, 1 arcane, 1 physical. I think we're going to go get an update on the Dorinthia game as well.
Yeah, that fatigue match might end before this one.
The 1 arcane is going to be prevented, and then we're just going to go ahead and get an immediate pop here. So Connor has kept his hand full of cards, or I guess 2 cards because we blocked the 1 arcane with the pitch. But that board has once again, talk about up tremendous. There are a tremendous amount of dragons on Grant's board once again. After it was starting to look a little more manageable, now we have 2 Uvias. Yenderai.
2 Vias.
We got 2 Vias, we got a Yenderai. We got an Aether Ashwing and an Asvalai out here. I like the idea that Dromai from New York.
She's walking here.
She walking here. I just make all these dragons. Just leave me alone. It's that kind of a day. It's going to be a Tekleplasma pistol. And a draw up for Connor, leaving a counter on the induction chamber. Uvia says, I'll grab a couple more of those ash wings. Thank you very much.
She's just, she's a young mom working hard and making more babies.
No. Ravenous Rebel here coming in 4-4.
Bodega Dromai. Hell yeah. That's what I want to see. That's the fan fiction I want. Bodega Dromai. Ravenous Rabble. Guess what? It's for 4. The white border, too. Man, 2 Uvias. He's got, at least he's kind of running out of ash, but he's going to keep pumping out these little baby dragons, and it's going to make this very difficult for Connor to do really anything about it. He does have a lot of poppers, but that's not exactly helping him that much. Uvia.
This is going to be an Enlightened Strike following the Ravenous Rabble here.
Like something about ash is being talked about. Excuse me, sir, is this your ash?
They're just double confirming all the ash was paid for. Connor here, desperately trying to stay alive, having to commit a popper to that Ravenous Rabble.
And then an E-strike after that. Oh my god.
Bunch of damage that isn't Phantasm, a bunch of damage that isn't Dragons.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
So we're going to have to see how Connor is able to try to stay alive and then clear these dragons. He's trying to run Grant out of threats. The question is, will he be able to do so with enough time, with enough life, to actually make the turn the corner in this game?
My guess is no. But I'm trying to stay positive.
I mean, we'll see. He's still at 11 life. I don't believe we have any ways to gain life in this Teklovossen deck, but we're trying to run through all of the, if you're Connor here, trying to run through the Chromais, run through the Miragais, and try to make sure that eventually you're going to be able to just clear these dragons with the Phantasms. Block 3 here. Now it's time for these Ashwings. These are going to be back-breaking on these turns, especially once that Burn Them All starts to become even more relevant. But another popper here going to take care of the Ashwing. Just pitch 1 into the Flamescale Furnace, make another Ash.
And you're just going to end the game with a ghostly visit.
Yeah, going to have to find a way to develop the Passing Mirage and then the ghostly touch. Looks like we're going to start banishing some cards to the Burn Them All here.
Burn them all. Let's go. All right. Oh, and I think that might be our final Moraga he just drew. Gotcha. Judge coming in, asking for clean play from our players. Make sure we're keeping track of everything. Which is hard sometimes, We've been here. I don't even remember when we got here. 12 hours ago. It's an endurance game as much as anything else when you're playing competitive Flesh and Blood.
Activating, we're going to go ahead and clear both Ashwings, it looks like, with the Plasma Pistol. Put counters back on. And then pass the turn from there. Connor desperately trying to run Grant out of threats. see if we can get an update on the game, the other game. We can see that the players are looking like they're laughing and they're chatting.
Everyone's just having such a good time. We can't tell who's despondent about losing.
Maragai being invoked. Not what you want to see if you're a Teklovossen fan. Another sync blow going to the bottom. Here's 3. Going to go ahead and be blocked. 1 Arcane looks like that. It's going to be taken from the Burn Them All. Three blocked from the Steel Soul Tower there.
You like these boots?
And then a CNC
And
coming
then a
down as
CNC.
well.
And Charles Dunn has taken it. Taken Fatigue Bravo all the way to the finals. No one thought he could do it.
No one thought he could do it. Everyone was counting him out. No one had any expectation of the U.S. national champ taking a deck.
This young upstart coming in, throwing around new decks, new ideas, uncharted waters on new heroes. Fatigue Bravo. This will be, I mean, if Grant takes this, that will be an interesting matchup. It definitely is a skillful matchup for Dromai to take on a Guardian that's going full fatigue. You know, does he know the full Ghostly Visit plan? Does he have enough reps into that? Because you do have to really sequence things carefully so that you don't run out of cards before not dying, I guess.
Yeah. This is going to be Command & Conquer threatening the arsenal. However, the Fabricate is going to pump up the Steel Soul memory that is blocking on the chain as well. So that will quite help Connor's case of keeping some damage prevented, keeping his hat around.
It will quite help in his case of keeping damage prevented. Where are we?
Here's the thing. Grant is getting pretty low on cards.
He's, you know.
Connor here. Don't say it's over until it's over. Connor here. Again, the Burn Them All going to be challenging for Connor to deal with. But if we just keep clearing, keep giving go again to this pistol, and hope to fatigue this Dromai, you're only at 6 life. Warmonger's Diplomacy here.
That's interesting. I bet he feels like he saw that card earlier.
So we'd have to play an attack action to be able to attack with the rest of the dragons on the turn now after the Warmonger's Diplomacy. So is Grant able to find one? Because a non-attack action like an Invocation, while it might turn on the hero ability, certainly won't work with the Warmongers.
I think he does have a Dust Up and a Cadaverous, but he doesn't have Go Again on
Does he
them.
have a way to give those go again?
Currently, no. But who knows? Connor over there saying, I can do fatigue all by myself. We'll see if that's true. He came out of the last one fully fatiguing Kassai, which was kind of crazy. But his deck looks pretty healthy. But his health, not so much healthy.
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
no! 4 Ashwings now.
2 Ashwings created off the back of the Uvia. And it's just going to be a Cadaverous Contraband 4/6 here. So Connor has bought himself a turn of really only having to deal with 1 attack. You don't really want to let this through. Any form of recursion is not what you want to let the Dromai player do. But there's a no block in the hand. There's a sink below. Looks like a Steel Soul of some kind. Junkyard Dog. So we do have ways to block this out. But if we want to develop that second chamber, it's going to be challenging.
Yeah, crazy. He's got that second chamber that's finally come up.
The question is it too little too late?
It's definitely going to help if he can get it out there. And this was a great turn to draw it, when he's got Grant kind of unable to present the tremendous amount of damage that he would otherwise. 4, 6, at least, 9 to 10 damage on the board without playing any of their cards.
And luckily was able to pitch 2 reds into that Cadaverous Contraband, so 2 more Ash.
So he can make 2 more babies.
2 more little babies. Oh, that Now, Connor is also under Warmonger, so if he chose Peace here, he wouldn't be able to attack with the pistol. If he chose War, he's not going to be able to play that induction chamber on this turn anyway.
Yeah, that is true. Did he have the foresight to know if he was going to do something like play another induction chamber? I think he's got a blue though, so I mean, even if he's not playing the induction chamber and he still just can clear a little bit, that does help his state. But this really would have been a good turn to be able to do both, play that induction chamber. Although I guess once you play that, it is your turn is over, so it kind of gets a little hamstringed either way.
Alrighty, Connor here sitting at 6. Grant at a pretty healthy 40, I'd say.
Now this is unfair. There's 2 Connors on that side of the table now, so what does that mean? Shout out to our judge Connor, holding down the 70-player tournament by himself, doing a great job.
Yep.
We're going to pew pew.
Yep, send 2 shots at the Maragai, so no current way to stop Phantasm represented on Grant's board. Did Connor draw a popper here to stop this onslaught of dragons?
Yeah, he's got a tumultide too, which in itself, its hit effect isn't that impactful currently. But, well, I guess he could take the Achilles.
You take the Achilles, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, arcane damage becomes a surefire way to end
Oh,
the
God,
game.
but look at all them dragons.
Yep. But currently no Ash, so you can't target any Ash with the Tumultai on this turn so far.
Yeah. Oh, and he just...
Gonna go ahead and double block a CNC here, and then pitch into the Flamescale Furnace.
He just... Okay. I guess, if he attacks with his dragons, he could get popped, but at least he would have pinged the arcane damage. That was interesting choices on that turn. I don't know.
Still has a bunch of Ash now left over. Did he put the Tumultai in the arsenal? Because if so, that is going to be a major way to potentially just close this whole game out.
Yeah.
Connor here now going to go ahead.
Just straight up beast mode. Giant dragon.
How many cards are left for both these players here?
Enough that I feel like it's not going to matter. Oh, well, he's got the remembrance, but...
Second burn them all here. That's going to be challenging.
Got 2 induction chambers. But
And an
there are...
Asvalai. There's a lot of arcane damage that's about to be thrown Connor's way. Currently, no Phantasm prevention. So this is going to be 1 and 2 arcane from this first Aether Ashwing. This has got to be your favorite feeling if you're a Dromai player, picking up all your Ashwings, preparing to send them away. Looks like he's just maybe representing them differently with the die.
Yeah, good call. 6...
See, Remembrance in the hand. Does he have a popper? If he doesn't have a popper, I think this might be just all she wrote. Let's see. Is he Remembrance? We're going to go E-Strike.
And then he's just going to E-Strike. Wow.
E-Strike is most likely 5. Go again. 5 that's got to be dealt with. Put 5 in front of it. A 3 block and a 2 block, and then here come the Aether Ashwings. There's no popper in this hand. This is going to be all she wrote for Connor Davenport. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then AB2, 1 card left in hand. Can you show the popper or not, Connor? 1, 2. And then, yeah, just the Steel Soul controller. Here are the rest of the dragons. The army is coming in. Connor Davenport has finally fallen. It was a close call. There are so many dragons on the field. And Grant moves on to the finals to take on Charles Dunn, the fatigue mastermind himself.
Let's go! This is going to be crazy!
You've never seen anything like this one, folks. And unfortunately, Connor did try valiantly to fatigue out the Dromai there, unable to do so. And Grant moves on to the finals on Dromai. They say Dromai can't convert Dromais into the finals. but has to take on the U.S. national champ for her troubles.
And for what, you ask? It's for this. It's the medallion. You saw Alan Lubor his earlier on stream. It is bad luck, as we've confirmed. You don't win the next one if you wear your medallion to it. But taking a look at our top 8, here we go. It's a classic tale as old as time. Bravo and his hammer against an onslaught of dragons and the nice lady who controls them.
How do you think? How you feeling looking at this final? I mean, we've seen this before. Grant is, from what we understand, a somewhat newer player, but clearly quite adept at the heroes, quite adept at this. You know, he's been playing quite well today, but he's playing into a someone who has got to know that matchup backwards and forwards in Charles Dunn.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing into a specialist who's been playing for a while. You know, he's got some titles under his belt. You know what I'm saying? He's been there. He's done that. He's won a national championship. But can he win AGE February 2024? Well, we're going to find out in just a minute. But yeah, I think, you know, based on Grant's performance, he seems a little loose in keeping track of some things. And I think that's going to matter a lot more in this matchup. If he's not keeping track of his ghostly visit, if he's not really, you know, pitch stacking and setting up to really plan an end game through the first half of this game, he might just not be able to get there, and Charles Dunn can fatigue him and just, you know, smash him with his hammer.
Well, certainly the people's champ, Colin Davenport, of sevens. I see some in the chat for him. Our Teklovossen does fall in the semis, but what a run for him, making it all the way to the semifinals. I think we're going to take just a tiny quick break here, get a second, refresh ourselves.
Yeah, I'm going to stand up, do some jumping jacks.
Yep, as we prepare. We've had 10 rounds here. We're moving on to 10 p.m. here on the West Coast, so get on ready because we have got what's sure to be a very quick one in a Dromai versus Charles Dunn's Bravo. So why don't we take a quick break?
Take a quick break.
And we will see you in just a second for the finals of the AGE Open. Don't go anywhere.
Here we go. Welcome back. I will now read you Charles Dunn's list one card at a time.
No, not a chance. We got plenty of Flesh and Blood cards to look at. We don't need to hear them all. We're going to see probably every single one of them.
We'll see all of them for sure in real time. Let's go.
It's time for the finals, folks. The February AGE Open has come all the way down to this. It's the U.S. national champion, Charles Dunn. He snuck in at that 8th seed with this Fatigue Bravo list, taking on Grant Strom with the Dromai Ash Artist list that just absolutely slapped around to Teklovossen. So we're going to wait and see. This is the moment. Can the up-and-comer take down the champ with a very, not necessarily the most red line list we've seen recently with these Dromai decks, but the ghostly touch, the passing mirages, are they going to be able to do so? Charles Dunn representing that AB2. That really shows you what kind of game plan Charles is bringing in. AB2 plus the Anathos here. That's going to make it challenging for Grant to find the damage.
Yeah, it is. Charles is prepared. He understood the assignment, and it was to, no matter who the opponent was, make sure they couldn't do what they want to do, and he's just going to stuff them full of fatigue. Let's zoom in here. Enhance.
Time to go to work.
It's on
Who's on the play here? Looks like Charles is not taking up his tunic, which means it's time for Grant to begin the game. Let's see. It's all smiles now, folks, but it's going to be a long one. Settle in.
Yeah, we're already 54 minutes in.
Oh.
It's been crazy. They're still at 40-40.
Go ahead and crack the gold. First action of our finals here.
What?
What?
That's crazy. He does that first turn.
Going to go ahead and pitch the Tomultai away immediately, so that'll be right there for the second cycle. Rake the Ember's going to come down, make 2 Ashwings. Or to make all 3 because we've started with the 2 off of the gold token, the 2 Ash that is. Card for the Arsenal. Charles going to go ahead and Sigil of Solace. Go on up to 43.
Charles is running the Imperial Warhorn, though, which will be interested.
Now, Grant, from what I understand, sometimes these Dromai decks, a good thing that they try to do is they try to basically set up a Tomultai and then Remembrance back in that Tomultai to go for 2 Tomultais in the game. But he just put that Tomultai to the bottom of the deck, so that's probably not going to be as impactful early if we want to try to work through the Arcane barrier on those Null Rune boots and Null Rune gloves. Go ahead and pitch a red into the Ender Eye.
I feel like that'd be a very good thing to try to do right now.
Yeah.
Because he also has a Remembrance.
There's a wait, yeah, he just immediately drew the Remembrance, so we're not going to be able to see those cards together for some time. It's going to be Ender Eye.
That's very curious.
And it looks like just a dust up here to follow. So here's 4 damage. Not having to think about the Phantasm. Looks like this is just a blue dust up. I was trying to look. I was looking at the wrong list here. Yeah, this is, I think, just a blue dust up. Just going to get a nice little block for 2. Tear asunder. Get ahead in front of it. Time for Charles to take up that tunic.
Yeah, blue dust up good. It's a good resource card, and it's also annoying to have to block it. And it's important to block it because of its hit effect. So it puts in work for being kind of a weird card. And here we go. Swinging this hammer.
Yeah, hammer going to go ahead. Utilizing 2 cards in the pitch zone. Anathos so effective at clearing those big dragons.
Wise Wolf asking, why 2 Null Rune?
Why 2 Null Rune? Because Charles Dunn doesn't want to be caught with his boots down, using his Null Rune gloves to something like a Tomultai, and then watching his life total slowly dwindle away to cards like Burn Them All and Asvalai. Charles really showing, I am here to outlast you. I'm going to run you entirely out of threats, and I'm going to make sure there is no way for you to close this game out whatsoever. I have poppers. I have some go again in some of my Enlightened Strike cards into, the Anathos, and I have all the poppers you could ever imagine, including, I'm assuming, the new popper. Is he even playing it? No, he's not even playing the Thunk. No, he's playing even more fatiguey than playing those new blue 6s out of heavy hitters.
I don't think he has any new cards in this deck.
No, not a single one. Not a single new card.
Don't need them. I was good.
Not even playing. He's not even playing the new gloves. Showing that some strategies stand the test of time.
Yeah, very interesting that he just pitched that tumultuous. Maybe he recognized that that wasn't the strategy, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's you know, figuring out his own game plan. Charles here just gonna every turn go ahead and pitch into that hammer.
What are you doing now?
Tome of Imperial Flame. We're gonna draw 2 cards. We have our arsenal as well set up if we are Grant, so this should be a pretty big turn. The question is, how is Charles going to be able to stop it utilizing those poppers in his hand?
Well, if it's anything like last game, he'll just draw all the Mirages right in a good order, so he's constantly preventing Phantasm popping. But we'll see. It's not always that easy. Uvia's in his hand, though. That's a good one. Get these annoying little ash wings everywhere.
So Grant really gonna have to try to kind of whittle down Charles's life and then swing in huge to finish out the game. One thing I do want to bring some attention to, does he have? Oh no, oh yeah, so he's got 2 Dust of the Chrome Caverns in this list. That's something we're going to have to be watching. If end of the game he's able to attack with a couple Chrome Eyes that don't have Phantasm because they have that Ash under them, if that's part of his game plan, utilizing multiple action points and then coming in with something like a Ghostly Touch to end the game. But we don't have a Dust out there already. This is just going to be a Chrome Eye coming in and make the action point upon attack.
Yeah, this Dust would be really good in this matchup. Of course, you have to wait for that to happen, and they are actions that don't have go again, I believe. So take a little bit of setup, and, you know, sometimes they're just at the bottom of the deck, unfortunately.
All right, Buckling Blow here going to go ahead and eat up that Chrome Eye.
Second action point from Chromai coming in, and it's just a CNC.
Yeah, which is nice. You know, this is the type of game and the type of deck that you could catch Charles on a hand that really just doesn't have a good way to block out a CNC with a lot of defense reactions in the hand. Unfortunately for Grant here, I'm not sure that is going to be the case. But Charles is thinking about having to just throw that Crown of Providence in front of the CNC right away. Does have a lot of cards in his hands that block for 3, however. So could just put a couple things in front of this and keep what I believe is a staunch response in the arsenal nice and safe and sound. But we're going to go ahead and put the crown, so that's a one-time use effect. CNC threatened the arsenal enough. 4 damage going to get across. Charles Dunn hitting all the way down to 39.
Wild.
Huge hits being thrown by both players.
This, I was looking at Charles Dunn's deck. He does have, let's see, 3 Oasis Respite, 3 Sigil of Solace. So, ostensibly speaking, his life is plus 13? No, 12. Plus 12. So he has 52 life, if you want to count it that way.
Charles here just once again clearing a little dragon.
Little smash. You see that dragon? I hit it with my hammer. You see that dragon? I hit it with my hammer.
Also, on both of these last couple turns, pitching a Crippling Crush to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, that. Let's find out if that's meaningful later. Check back in 33 and a half minutes.
33. Check back in 58 minutes.
Nah.
Ooh, a Dust of the Chrome Cavern's going to go ahead and be established, and I believe a Chrome Eye is headed to the arsenal as well.
Nice.
So let's see how Charles wants to utilize his hand here. He might be just being able to going to go ahead and just pitch the Terror Center into the Bravo ability. And throw the Anathos.
I was like, he's going to attack?
No, we're just throwing in the Anathos because we don't have the Tectonic Plating available to us to give us a resource for the pitch.
Just pitching down more cards so that we can draw other cards.
Just taking care of the Necria here. Dust of the Chrome Caverns, technically an Ash that you can target, but if you target it with Invoke Chrome Eye, no Phantasm on the Chrome Eye. And now it's time, once more, 2 cards from the Tome of Imperial Flame here.
Is that the only fancy dust that he has?
Yeah, it's the only dust, I believe.
Yeah.
This is going to now be...
That good dust.
Yeah, this is now 2 Cadaverous Contrabands pitched for second cycle as well for Grant. How does he want to utilize the Ash, the resources?
Dragons, probably.
Probably dragons, and it looks like he's going to be able to develop both a Miragai, and if he wishes to, a Chromai as well. But the question is, does he want to kind of throw all of his
Ooh, and here we
Yes,
go.
and he does. He's going to go ahead and put the Chromai on the dust immediately, so not even necessarily setting up for the quote-unquote late game. He just wants to put it out here. So we've got a Chromai with no Phantasm. We've got a Miragai with no Phantasm. So here's the Miragai first. This is 2, no Phantasm.
That's pretty good. He's also got a Cadaver's Contraband in hand, so he could potentially end this turn by just recycling one of his dragons as well, ensuring that this game goes even longer.
And look at that. Charles just taking all 5 of this damage, saying, listen, I'm going to see what you follow with this turn. Pitch. Looks like this is going to go into the Flamescale Furnace, into the Cadaver's Contraband. So here's 6, and once again threatening to put something like the Tome of the Imperial Flame, or maybe something like the Invoke Chromai back on top of the deck. Charles will be able.
3 Cadaver's Contrabands on the table
Yep.
right now.
2 in the pitch,
I'm
1 on the field.
Telling you, once that deck is sorted, it's really hard to get it back to random.
I kind of like Grant's, all sideways style. We've got the pitch 2 to the side.
It's disgusting.
You don't like it? Good God, man. How do you really feel?
There are rules.
I feel like that might be nice. Like you just flip them over, just grab the deck, just pop, pop, slide it on top.
I don't know. It takes up a lot of space. My mats have zones on them.
Ooh, look at that. We're going to make a Seismic Surge tank to the Unity off of the Starstruck here.
Starstruck, look at that. He saw Bravo, and he was starstruck.
Yeah. And with the second action point off of the Chromai, able to establish a Passing Mirage. So Grant here has a Chromai on the dust, has a Miragai, and a Passing Mirage established. The question is, it looks like there is an E-Strike and 1 card left in hand for our Charles. So only one thing is going to get dealt with on this turn. What's it going to be?
Dromais only want one thing, and it's disgusting. It's to remove Phantasm from their fake dragons, making them real dragons.
Oh, and look at this E-Strike in the arsenal here. That's going to go ahead and clear off the Miragai, and then it looks like if we have a blue, that might be just enough to take care of the Chromai as well. Yep, so all that work, whole lot of dragons on the field that work so well together.
But Charles is down to 34, so he's got to be feeling the heat at this point.
Yep. For sure, really
Sweating. I can see it over
close
there.
to death is this one. Passing Mirage is an important piece. Have we been seeing the... We haven't been seeing much Phantasm pop, if any, because the Ghostly Touch still sitting at 0 counters. There's another Chromai just...
No, I mean, that's a big part of the kind of Bravo anti-Ghostly Visit plan is to just kill the dragons with attacks and Anothos. So it's usually harder to get that going up.
Charles here saying no block, taking the 3, popping 1.
Will he do it? And there we go. We get our first Ghostly hand counter.
See, how does he want to utilize this next action point? It's going to be just a dust up.
I love that Ghostly Visit is just a black and white card.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so cool.
Pitch into the Flamescale Furnace. Make another Ash. Arsenal a card. Passing Mirage and a Chromai. 2 things we have to deal with now for Charles. Falling down to 31, so hey.
Oh.
Only a couple cards left in hand. Hammer, take care of the Chromai.
He's still got 2 sigils and 3 Oasis Spines.
I don't want to hear it. Keeping the card in hand, so if you're Grant, you have to imagine that has to be a pop, or else why would you not just go ahead and throw that into the arsenal? But first, it's going to be an Asvalai. No Phantasm thanks to the Passing Mirage. And let's see how exactly Grant wants to go about this. It's going to be 2 and 1 Arcane to start. 1 Arcane. We do have the Tunic. It's going to go ahead and get pitched into the Null Rune.
I'm still wondering why Grant didn't play that Tumultine.
Hey, I mean, he's gotten Charles down to 29 so far. Getting to play a Rabble now. This is an attack that can't just be popped. Here's 4 more damage.
No Phantasm on this Rabble.
No Phantasm on this Rabble whatsoever. I mean, I think if you're Grant, you're feeling okay. You have Passing Mirage. You have multiple Ash Wings. You've got an Asvalai. Charles is already down to 29.
He's been able to do a lot so far. You know, getting that dust early was helpful. You know, having multiple Phantasm removers. And then, oh yeah, let's just do that again. This Ravenous Rabble is good. play it twice.
Wow, and Charles just going down to 24 here. I think he has a remembrance in his hand, but again, if you're Grant, you're getting your opponent to significantly have to respect, the damage that you're throwing down. Here's 4 more damage from a Dust Up, threatening an Ash and an Ash Wing. I didn't expect Charles to be at 24 at this point in the game. I'm going to be completely honest.
13 minutes in, we might set a record for a fatigue match.
He's just going to go ahead and block 1, take 1. We're going to trigger and make a 5th Ashwing here. Charles Dunn all the way down to 23. Grant doing this off the back of some really nice early draws off these Phantasm Stoppers. Let's see, Charles Dunn probably just going to go ahead and take care of the Passing Mirage immediately.
See that first burn them all, I think, coming into hand. We got a Dominia and a Kyloria. So this turn could be very, very interesting for Mr. Grant Strom. I keep wanting to say Storm. Grant Storm. Strom.
All right, we're going to go ahead and first.
What's he going to do? He's going to pitch.
You're
You're supposed to play the card first. You're not allowed to pitch to nothing.
Got to burn them all here.
Is Dromai back, you guys? I don't know. What do you think, chat? Is Dromai back?
Not just you guys. You guys.
You guys.
You guys.
He's also yelling it and questioning, so.
Can you go ahead and pitch 1 into an Invoke Kyloria. Get the fancy Treasure Loving Dragon.
Yeah, good answer. I don't think Dromai ever left.
It's like that meme, It was Dromai the whole time?
Yeah.
Always has been.
Yeah. Tell Roger Bodie Dromai is back.
Grant has how many minutes of Flesh and Blood has Grant played without taking a point of damage in his last 2 rounds? I mean, he's been sitting at 40 for 2 games.
Let's see. I think we're at 75.
Now look at this. This is an awkward little thing for Charles here. He's got to figure out a way to deal with the CNC with 2 D-reacts in hand, so most likely going to have to pitch 1 into the Oasis Respite and block with a card. Not the worst thing in the world, but with a handful of D-reacts and a D-react in Arsenal, and your Crown of Providence already dealt with.
Yeah, very, very cool play from Grant here, allowing himself to play the 2 dragons, hopefully keeping 1 after Charles's turn, and I think after he sees what Charles is going to have to do here, he might even have 2 dragons left.
Yeah, well, because I don't think Charles is going to be left with anything in hand that can do anything, because he's going to have to block with a card. He's going to have to. Oh, it's not the Staunch in their arsenal anymore. It's in Remembrance, so not nearly as scary with that Command and Conquer. We're just going to put 3 poppers right on back into the deck.
Oh boy.
No, not that popper. This blue popper works better for me. Yes, thank you very much. 3 blue poppers right back into the deck. CNC certainly less threatening now, but still no defense reactions can be played to this. So if Charles wants to not take 3 points of damage, he's going to have to pitch 1 into that Oasis Respite. Probably happy to do so because, again, not doing anything with all those red cards in his hand.
Grant is not impressed.
Poor Connor is so tired. Fighting for his life. Yeah, he's like, oh, dude, tell me about it.
He played Remembrance already? Oh, my God. Oh,
Yeah.
God. And Oasis Respite? Oh, my God.
So we're going to gain 1, take 2, so a grand total of 1 damage off of that CNC. And now let's see. I don't think we have a blue, so not going to send the E-Strike. We're just going to Arsenal the E-Strike, say, I don't care if you got Kyloria, I don't care if you have an Asvalai.
Yeah,
Show me that you can do this without Phantasm, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, that was a really strong play from Grant, I think. Being patient, setting it up, playing for the next turn, really going to be able to present a very scary board here in just a second. We got Burn Them All coming out. Charles does have extra Arcane Barrier, but it does pressure his hand a little bit, which will make blocking the forthcoming onslaught of dragons a little bit harder.
Yeah. Now, something we do have to keep in mind is that we are starting the Burn Them All train now, right? So, like, choo-choo. Yep. That was the response.
That was
That was the response I needed. That was that hard-hitting analysis I was looking for. We're pitching now into the Miraging Metamorph. This is just a 1 for 7. No yes, Phantasm, but no go again here. But just saying, here's 7 damage. If you pop it, I get a second burn them all.
That's pretty neat. What's he got in here? He's got a defense reaction.
Got a defense reaction, got a 3 block, but if that 3 block is a 6 power attack, it's going to trigger the Phantasm before the defense reaction can even be played.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to have to pop it here. He's going to make a second burn them all.
Oh, let's go.
And it puts only that second counter on the Ghosty Touch, but that's pretty amazing. Let's see, how do we represent? This is the first time I've actually seen a burn them all be created off a Miraging Metamorph. I've never actually seen it happen.
Yeah, I know. That card usually just says, I take 7 damage.
Yeah, those are all Spectral Shields, brother. That's a frozen token.
That's a
Oh, where'd that come from? Let's go!
That's called product placement, baby. Yes, thank you, Connor. What a good choice for card backs right there. Shout out to me and the Deck Action Podcast.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and banish. Now, here's the thing. How long is he going to be able to keep those 2 burn them alls around? How many red cards do we have in the graveyard? Probably 1 million.
Exactly 1 million, because Dromai can run up to 1,000,001 cards in their deck. That's wild, though. Miraging Metamorph, what a card.
Alrighty, Charles here. Which of these threats is he going to try to deal with? Hammer just straight into the Kyloria. Hammer for 4, taken down. Madame Loria. Got a passing Mirage in the hand for Grant. Dust up, Fate Foreseen. Charles Dunn has kind of stabilized at 22 for quite some time. Both players battled so long to get here. This is the finals. We're going to go ahead and break. Ooh, we're breaking our boots right now. Mage Master boots just to throw down the passing Mirage. This is a huge, huge turning point in the game because at this point moving forward, you're not going to have that available for you for like a late game kill. Grant saying, I need to put the pressure on now. Here's Invoke Themai. Going to go ahead and make another big old dragon. 3 attack, 4 health, 2 Asvalize, and a burn them all. We're going to, I think, just try to push a bunch of arcane damage.
And that prevents defense reactions, right?
Yeah, if cards can't be played.
Can't play it.
Absolutely.
Pretty good in this matchup right here. What do you think of that, Charles Dunn? He says, it's fine. Let me just do my calculations. I can block with these cards. It's all good. It's all good out here.
So, did he activate an attack, or is he still thinking? Looks like...
I believe he was taking...
Oh, he's responding to the Themai by activating Tunic, most likely, yeah, before the Themai resolves.
Yep. Because he's just that good. He knows. He's like, I need to do this now. It's my last chance. Right? Because it prevents that too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, any instance.
I hate Themai.
You're just a hater, bro. You're just out here hating these cards.
Look,
what
I'm
cards
out
do you
here
like?
The cards that I play.
So which cards?
A bunch of Kano cards are really cool.
You'd like Kano cards?
Yeah, I love Kano cards.
You're like, oh, I hate this 0 for 4 attack reaction. I love 8 to Wildfire though. Just that card's fun. That card's sick.
The card is sick.
It is sick. It's totally sick.
Snapback's a good card. Sonic Boom, that's a good card. Let's just have some fun and see what happens. Themai's like, let's stop having fun now.
Yeah.
Everyone hang on. I'm a Hall Monitor Dragon. It's from Solana, so you know it's Buzzkill.
All right, so let's see. This attack did not have Phantasm. That was a popper heading into the Themai here.
Yeah, if Grant doesn't take a single point of damage in the last 2 games of the top
he has yet to. It has been like 60 to 70 minutes of Flesh and Blood before, and Grant has taken no damage whatsoever. That one's going to buy a popper, however. Time for a bunch more counters to be placed onto those 2 burn them alls. That is going to burn through the graveyard pretty quickly.
It is. That definitely accelerates the removal of those red cards. He does have quite a lot. I believe there's 63 total in his deck, at least on his deck list. Not sure if he sides in more cards for this matchup. He might just dump everything in and go for it. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you're better off with the tight 60 and Remembrance. He's also got those Cadaverous Contrabands. Curious if he tries to save or I guess, yeah, I mean, that's also something he's got to think about, because if he has cards like Remembrance and Cadaverous Contraband, he has to be selecting cards that he doesn't want to have to recur later on, because you banish those and you can no longer use those effects on those cards.
All right, Tome of Imperial Flame here. Counting the graveyard, seeing how many red cards are left.
That's his banish. Wait, is that his banish?
I think that's his graveyard. I think he's representing his banish up top. He's doing everything in ways you don't like. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Me and Grant are going to have a heart-to-heart after this.
Because that's the
Retro
Passing Mirage, so I think the
March.
Passing Mirage is there from the last turn.
Oh, my God.
I know. So 2 cards need to be pitched now immediately. We have all the ash we could ever dream of if we're Grant here.
Immediately, Grant. He said immediately. Pitch it now. Don't think, just pitch it.
Don't think, just pitch. All right, looks like, dust from the Chrome Caverns and an Enlightened Strike, interestingly enough, heading to the bottom. 2 float. Found another Passing Mirage.
Yep. Man,
That's going to be a Rake the Embers, make as many Ashwings as you could possibly dream of. And by that, I do mean just 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we dream big, but not too big.
Yeah, here's 7 Ashwings now on the beat field. 2 Asvali, 1 Themai. Now let's see how exactly, Grant, if you just play that Passing Mirage, you're just leaving it out to die. So we're going to go Invoke Kyloria. So it looks like there's no Phantasm Prevention on this turn. So how exactly do you want to try to move through it? If you're Grant, do you try to get all of the arcane damage stacked up at once with the Asvalis? He's a whole lot of dragons. Charles is like, dude, what am I supposed to do with all these dragons? All right, Grant, what's your attack? Charles looking at this. He can't play defense reactions. It looks like, I think that is just a CNC in the hand. So the first thing that attacks with will be getting popped.
He's going to play like a dust up or something.
Feels like you want to get the arcane damage through while you have the Asvalis
That's
out
true.
there, while you have the 2 Burn Them Alls hanging out.
Yeah, he's about to burn.
He's just going to go ahead and play the Passing Mirage here. So that's the 3rd and final Passing Mirage. He's looking for something like a Mirror Guy, looking for something like a Chromai to try to turn on the turn from here.
When does Bravo try to start trying to smash face? With this deck, the last possible second.
The other thing about just playing the Passing Mirage is you once again have to throw the hammer into the Passing Mirage, and that leaves the Themai out there. So any defense reactions drawn for Charles are just, incredibly less effective, and certainly they really just clog up the hand. These Sync Pillows and these Fate Foreseen for Grant, I wonder if they're going to come back to bite him at the end of the game as they clog up his hands. As you know, Charles is not going to be doing really any attacking in this game. Charles is really just attack and dragon pass, clear a dragon pass.
He's
Going to
just
run you
here to-
entirely out of threats. But there's the Mirage Guy.
There it is, folks. Behold.
So that means we're going to get to attack. No Phantasm, some arcane damage as well.
I have to zoom out on this camera to be able to see this board state.
Yeah, this is
in a minute.
insane.
Yeah, Charles is playing an interesting form of this game where he's going to deck check you 1 card at a time over 60 minutes.
Yeah, all right, Uvia.
Another Uvia.
Coming down, that means another Ashwing can be created.
And he's got 6 Ash, so he can do this for a while.
All right, so let's see. What are we going to attack with? Is it going to be the Kyloria, no Phantasm, to try to threaten the Breakpoint and the 2 Arcane, try to threaten the draw a card? The Asvalis here are going to throw more Arcane. It is going to be the Kyloria, so you're saying I want a card, and you have to give me cards from your hand for this 2 Arcane damage in each an instance of 1.
And no
And no
defense
D-reacts.
reactions
Yeah,
here,
no
mister.
D-reacts.
Don't even think about it.
So there's no way to cover up this Kyloria with not just 1 card. You can't play those D-reacts thanks to the Miso. So Grant, he's putting up a fight, man.
He is, I mean, obviously he's the only one fighting in this thing, it seems like.
Exactly. He hasn't taken a point of damage in 90 minutes.
This is like pacifist Bravo right here. That's, fatigue is just another word for pacifism. He was like, I actually will win this fight by not fighting, and you will just get tired and fall down.
Charles really has to think here. This Miragai, another must-kill target. It means you got to keep a blue in the hand. What does he have to define when he has got a blue disable, got a blue hold the line? So that Miragai is saying goodbye no matter what. But the thing is, how do you try to block it out? You have to give 2 cards. You're also dealing with arcane damage as well. It looks like he's going to try to just put 2 cards. Did they trigger the arcane? I think he should have gone from 21 to 19. Yeah, 21 to 19. And then now it's just Ashwings. And that's going to buy the blue disable, which leaving us the blue hold the line in the hand to take out the passing Mirage. So not the passing Mirage, the Miragai. The question is, how many more Phantasm prevention effects is Grant going to be able to find? And how many more red cards are left for these 2 burn them alls? It's going to be eating 8 cards. If you want to remembrance some cards back in, they need to be in the graveyard when you play that remembrance.
Yeah, that's how that card works. Reading the card explains the card. Whew. That's a lot of stuff he's about to banish.
How you feeling, Colin?
I feel so good.
Feel great?
Fucking fantastic.
Okay. Heard. All right. This is going to be just the Anathos coming in, taking care of the Miragai.
What card did he pitch?
Hold the line.
Okay.
Blue hold the line.
I thought it was that.
Another Miragai and another Themai.
Oh my god.
For Mr. Grant here.
Hits keep on coming.
Let's keep on coming. Only 3 Ash now because we're losing 1 to the Uvia. No good. We're hearing from our producer that down there in the feature match, vibes immaculate. Everybody's chatting. Everybody's hanging out. They don't care about us in the booth. They know it's untimed. They know that they can just literally play until anything happens. This Miragai is now once again going to threaten a draw thanks to the Kyloria. Let's see. We have a hold the line being pitched for the 2 Arcane. Float the 1. 2 sigils in hand. 2 sigils in hand. There's no popper in this hand.
And he can't play the sigils, right?
You can't play them. This is a Warmonger's diplomacy. He has no poppers on this hand. He has defense reaction. I think he's got to be in his arsenal. He can't play the sigils either. This whole board of damage is going to be coming through. Oh my gosh.
How much does Asvalite do?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
We got
1, 2, 3, 4 from the Kyloria. We have 8 from the Ashwings. We have
12,
2, 3, 6 from each. Is it 6,
18,
3, 4?
I
That's
think
enough.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This might be the end of the game.
Let's go.
There's no way, right?
I don't think
There's no way after 30 minutes it's about to just be over.
Yeah, you thought this was fatigue. It's also just stomped by dragons. Wow. Whoa, that was crazy. That's crazy. What a terrible hand to draw.
Wait, there's no way, right?
I don't think so. But Grant has to find out the hard way. And will he try to do something silly like play patiently?
You got it, dude. Throw the hand, bro. Throw the hand, Grant. You have the game. If you just start swinging with dragons, E-Strike, this is going to be go again, most likely.
It better be. Oh, man, he is thinking about it. Charles is trying not to give too much away in his face, but his face is bad right now. He looks a little downhearted.
Oh, my gosh, Grant. For all of us players out there who want to see the fatigue deck fall, please throw your hand. Please attack with your dragons. Keep it down. There are 3 doors between us and them.
Yeah, no, there's one and then a big door that goes through an open space.
Okay, let's see. Here's an E-Strike. Here's an E-Strike. Let's see how Charles plays this down here. Oh, come on, Grant. I mean, he's gonna attack with the Ashwings no matter what, right?
Yeah, he's going to poke with one. Yeah, he'll poke with one, and when he doesn't do it, he goes, seriously? He does have Tunic, though. He can block one more.
Yeah, so the question is, you don't just throw that, don't just throw the dust up, brother. Please.
Remember, Grant is from San Diego. He's got that buff on him.
All right, Grant, can you sniff it out? Charles has not been able to block with a popper yet. You have all these dragons on the field. Your Themai is turning those sigils into literal do-nothing cards. Just swing the Ashwing, my man. just swing. Just swing the Ashwing, brother.
Do it. Just find out.
I am begging you.
Find out.
I am begging you. Don't.
What
no,
does he
no,
have?
no, no,
Is
no.
that a
It's a
dust
dust up.
up? Oh
Don't play
my
the dust
no.
up. Don't play the dust up.
Grant, no, you.
Attack with the Ashwing. Okay, another
You're
Dromai.
gonna play
Oh my
another
god, this
Dromai.
is another dragon. Oh my gosh. Come on, attack, my man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, I want to see. I want to see Grant's face.
Okay,
He
Takes
takes
one. Attack with another one.
Okay.
Okay, sure. He shrugs his shoulders. Charles is smiling, bro. He just has a little smile on his face. He's just gonna go down to 5 here. Grant's like, okay.
If I attack with Kyloria, I can draw a
I
card.
think he's already attacked with Kyloria.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Attack with Themai. Attack with Themai. Charles says, yeah, sure. Take 3. Go to 2.
It's just the
Charles says,
slowest.
attack with Asvali. Take 1. Block 1.
Take one.
Go to 1. Charles says, attack with Asvali. And that's the game. 2 sigils in hand.
Oh,
He says, oh shit! The game is over! Grant Strom wins at 40 life! Charles Dunn just kept 2 at 2, completely do nothing cards in hand.
Oh my
The
God.
Themais, the Mirage guys came at the right time. That's the end of the game!
Wow.
Oh my god!
That,
What?
not quite how I
The
saw that shake out.
Finals! Grant Strom, the people's champion, taking down the national champion. Dromai showing who can't convert. Grant can convert, taking down the AGE finals. Charles Dunn sneaking in at the 8th seed, but unable to finish the job. What a final game.
That's crazy. San Diego built different. We know that for sure.
Wow, what an incredible run to the end of these finals, folks. That was unbelievable. I'm going to be honest, dude. I was sitting here like, all right, the Dragons are all going to die. They're going to get popped. They're going to get they're going to get smacked with a hammer. And we're going to sit here for an hour and a half as we just watch him slowly die. But that didn't happen at all.
Not at all. He didn't take a single point of damage in
And
two
just-
of his top 8 games.
2 of his top 8 games, Dromai just sat there and said,
He's sitting there saying, is this right? You're going to take all 8 of my Ashwings.
Dude.
What about the Azlevi?
let me tell. All right, I think that's got to be an achievement. He gets this, but we got to get him something else that says didn't take any
Yeah.
damage in the
Eight.
semis or finals.
Yeah, Rihanna's got it. It's 80-0. He went 80-0
Wow,
in the finals.
wow,
Absolutely wild.
unbelievable.
Way to go, Grant.
Yeah, we got to grab him for an interview. We got to get him in. We got to hear his story.
Yeah.
If you
How do you do it?
How do you do it? So don't go anywhere.
Teach me.
We got to hear from the winner of the AG Open, Grant, who just took down Charles Dunn, the U.S. national champ. To go in here, we'll see you in just a second.
right, we are back with Grant, the Fabtcg champion of 2024. Congratulations, you get this kick-ass medallion. You also get an Arcane Lantern cold foil extended art for taking part in the Arcane Games and Events AGE Open. Congrats, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling tired, but I'm feeling good.
I bet it's been a long day, and you had a couple long matches to end this.
Yep.
How was your Swiss leading up into this top 8, which we will break down a little bit more?
My Swiss was pretty good. I came with big dragons with the hope of dodging KO,
Yep.
and I did that.
Nice, good job. There was 11 of them, so it was fairly the most represented hero, but not overwhelmingly so.
I am surprised. Yeah, I went up against Bolton, Kano, Drew against Victor, then Azalea, Dory, and got demolished by Fi.
Nice. And then through all of that, you make it to the top 8. This is your first AGE event?
Second.
Second AGE event. Nice. So coming to the top 8, who'd you play in the first round again?
I replayed the Kano that I played round 2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Ryan.
Well, that matchup, I know how that matchup goes. It's either really bad for Kano or really fun.
This match was a lot easier.
Yeah.
I got 2 early Thamais. Our round 2, his Kano hits were pretty insane, and I outlet sacked him. My ending hand was Dragon Sigil Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that Thamai, pretty good card.
And won that one.
That seemed to really be the thing that got that game over. You established such a crazy board state over time. I mean, you did a really good job. It seemed you're playing patiently because, Charles is playing a fatigue game, so you got to be worried about running out of cards. But, you got cool things like Cadaver's Contraband. You did have a Remembrance. But what was going through your head? How are you trying to approach that? And did you think Thamai was going to be the thing that just let you push through 18 damage to win the game?
I definitely had a point where I was questioning playing the Thamai, but considering I saw him playing against Zane, he has like staunch responses, Fate Sync, every D-React ever imaginable.
Yeah.
He sigiled turn 1,
Yeah.
so it seemed good enough. And like, I don't know, my goal was just to like obviously build up a big enough board and then just like take a pivot turn, which was when like I had the blue pop Mage Masters, Gango again, play Dromai, no Phantasm, and then also the Miragai Dromai Dust turn.
Yeah.
Was just, yeah. You just like, against Guardian, you just want to present like passing Miragai, and Dromai, they have to kill, because if it lasts one more turn, it's just too much value for them.
Totally. And then getting the Miragic Metamorph hit, trigger on the Burn Them All was just like, dude, I don't think I've seen this happen before.
That one felt good.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and okay, I did have a question. So I think turn 1, you saw Tomultai, and you pitched it.
I did.
I was just curious what you were thinking there. I know, he has 2 arcane barriers, so he has backup. And, if you do, it seems like if you want to go that route, you've got to blow it up and then Remembrance and blow it up again. But, is that too much hassle to try to do, or
Tomultai's
too early in the game, maybe?
Worst, Tomultai's just a block 3 or any pitch in your deck. Like, I just feel like unless you just draw them with like the blue or like the tome, there's no reason to. I mean, if you saw in the semifinals game, I kept the Tomultai for an extra turn because I counted my graveyard and saw I had 1 blue left against Teklo, so I was like, I'm gonna blow out his AB, and it didn't work out because I drew CNC, Cadaver's Contraband or Dust Up. So nothing to turn on my dragons and like give go again and stuff. So Tomultai in this matchup, it's just like if you see it and you can take out their tunic or their crown, which probably would have been the better one in that matchup, considering I think he tunicked once. to like prevent an AB, and then 1 time in response to Thamai.
Okay, so you wouldn't go for the null rune equipment with Tumultai.
Nah, you only hit 1. And in my deck, every arcane damage is always like a individual instance, so they only need 1 AB.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Sam was saying that the Remembrance play blowing up both might have been what you go for, but I don't know. I don't play Dromai. I just get beaten by Justin regularly at.
Remembrance is to bring back 3 Chromais,
Gotcha.
which is what I kept in my graveyard.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That was also interesting because it's like you got to make sure you have a graveyard to be able to remember something from.
my last burn them all trigger to banish 8 was 11 cards, and the 3 I kept were just 3 Chromais.
Yeah, I mean, if it seemed like you're playing patiently, you got those Mirage out, you got the passing Mirage out, you just had enough to really make sure that he always had something important to take care of, and I don't think he attacked you once. Which I think in your last 2 games of the top 8, you've gone 80-0 at the AGE final, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. The Teklovossen, that was a strange matchup. Have you played that matchup before?
No, because shout out Humongous Games. He scoops to anyone who plays Dromai in front of him.
There you go. Yeah, we weren't sure if he really had an ability. It seems like he had a plan. He had his pistol and he had his induction chambers, but then it was like anytime you play a Kyloria, I was just kind of laughing because it's like, oh, you're gonna steal his induction.
That
chamber?
was the threat. I think I cadaverous one on top as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
but no,
I'm coming for it.
He had a rough look at the back bracket because it was either me or a Kano, and he only had 1 AB.
That's not the best, but he did a great job. It was cool to see Charles Dunn coming, making in 8th into the top 8, making it all the way to the final. You took down the national champ, which has got to feel pretty good. So, how are you feeling in the new meta? It looked today like we had, I don't know if you saw the meta breakdown, but it was pretty diverse. Our top 8 featured a unique hero in every single slot. How do you think Dromai is positioned right now?
My Victor game didn't feel too losable, but it also did not feel winnable.
Gotcha.
And it ended in a draw. At the same time, I think the KO matchup is really rough. I decided to take Big Dragons today just because I was on like a hyper aggro, like Blaze Headlong, Scar for Scar, 0 for 4, 3 Burn the Malls, 3 Nourishing Emptiness, like Empress Redline list, and playing against KO and Armory was just miserable having 2 blocks.
For sure.
And even though they're just damage and have no on hits, you're just like, those cards are there so you can race, and that's your advantage, and you just can't race KO.
Totally. Well, you put on a great show for us today. I want to thank you for coming out. I know you got a long drive home, so I don't want to keep you too much more. Thank you, everyone. We'll probably just end this now because, we've been here forever. But
good night.
Thank you for being here. Deck list will be up on the AGE events site starting tomorrow. So check those out. We'll update standings. We have our event next month as well, which is March 16th, right here at Collector Legion, who is our sponsor. And thank you to everyone watching. Thanks to our producer. And happy Lunar New Year to all of you who celebrate. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Sam, what are you good
My
at?
answer is I would take the cold showers and baths because I do.
Yeah,
I
me
know.
too.